since I was just a jit that I would make a difference. Like instantly started making hits. July 25th, moms and pops received the gift. That was me, the golden child, the black sheep. Now I'm grown and proud. Pops died, I was 12 or 13. Turned the crib at 13. That was some niggas' worst dream. Older sis was 16, older brother was 19. I looked up to him, I felt he taught me the right thing. I was skipping school and hanging all night on that night scene, flipping back, stealing cars and breaking in houses for nice things. Future looking blit, paps colder than ice cream. Mom's throwing fits and I'm fighting and serving crack fiends. Where I'm from, you either the hustler or the doer. Had a fetish for cash and too much pride to be a doer. But don't get it twisted, I seen them hustlers turn to doers and doers turn to hustlers. That's the life in the sewer. My granny is my rock, she knew her grandbabies was rulers. So I'ma forever show my respect I ever knew ya. Hallelujah to God. Could this be here?
Peace, peace. It's Eric the Man Santos on here. You can catch me on all platforms: Facebook, TikTok, YouTube, Instagram, True Hot 30. I got a guest on the show with me, Nux. Tell them who you are,
What's
where they can
up?
find you at before we start off.
You can just find me on Instagram, everything Nux Young, Facebook, YouTube, everything Nux Young, KNUCKZ Young.
Okay, we can get to the presentation for y'all. I got this presentation because um, I know people, we have a belief in the afterlife. People have a belief in different things, and I just always believe in having evidence to it too. It's cool to believe in the afterlife. It's cool to believe it's something after that, but I want to know, is it evidence? Is it proof? Is it studies? Are people studying on it? Is it something that I can grasp and say, man, and have more than just belief to say it's something after this? So this is why I'm doing studies like this. This is called let me see. This is called conscious outside the brain, right? And this is what I'm gonna be doing. I'm gonna be going to people like doctors like that study the field of neurology, neuroscience, philosophy, psychiatry, and NDE. NDE means near death experience, clinically dead people that clinically died, things that they seen, studies, um, people that's leading in these studies and of after death. It's a new research that's going on, but like I said, I just want to, get into the point of is there evidence out here? So we can get into the first thing. We gonna break down psychology, right? Psychology is the scientific study of the mind, the behavior in humans and non-humans. Psychology includes the study of conscious and unconscious phenomena, including feelings and thoughts. It is an academic discipline of immense scope, crossing the boundaries between natural and social science. Okay, so I'm breaking up each one of these things that we're going to be talking about in these professions. Psychiatry. Psychiatry is the medical specialty devoted to diagnose, prevention, and treatment of uh, uh, deleterious mental conditions. These include various matters related to mood, behavior, cognition, cognition, and perceptions. Initial psychiatric assessments of a person begins with a case history and mental status examination. Okay. We can break down neuroscience. Neuroscience, also known as neuroscience, is the study of how the nervous system develops, its structure, and what it does. Neuroscience focuses on the brain and impact on behavior and cognitive functions. Okay. NDE, an experience, instance of which have been widely reported in which a person near death is apparently outside of his or her body and aware of it, and the attendant's circumstances as separate from him. And then we're gonna be breaking down I'll just give you these are the definitions we're going to, so that's why I'm going through them fast. So I'm breaking down the definition of what these individual things mean. So and I bring out the professionals. This is what they profession is in. So clinical death. What is clinical death? First comes clinical death, which is when breathing and blood flow stop. Clinical death is the same as cardiac arrest. The heart has stopped beating and the blood has stopped flowing. If blood flow can be restored either by um, pulmonary resuscitation (CPR) or by getting the heart pumping again, the patient could come back from a clinical death. Is not a sure thing. Success rates for CPR are pretty dismal. Okay, and
So once you got to
biologic,
perform PR,
yeah. What you say?
it's basically most of the time you ain't coming back.
Yeah,
Is
yeah.
that what?
Once, well, no. What clinical death is just when the heart stops. But when the heart stops more than like 10 minutes, that's when you consider brain dead. But you still could be like a vegetable. So when your heart stops, you still can actually live, but the brain will be dead, but you'll be like a vegetable. Once the brain stops, once it gets to the part where the oxygen has been gone from your body too long and the blood flow stops for so long and the brain stops, you know what I mean? With the heart is all the way dead. But if once the brain goes over, um, biological death. On the other hand, is the brain death, and there's no turning back from the brain death. That is irreversible death. Just to make things a bit more complicated, however, it is possible to keep the body alive while the brain is dead. The heart is more of a subcontractor than an employee of the body. It keeps its own hours and works without direct supervision by the brain. Since the heart works without the brain input, it's possible to keep it going for a long time after the brain is dead. Okay, so we understand that clinical death means when the heart stops and they actually bring them back. So that's called clinically dead because they're not all the way dead, meaning the brain and heart stop. You know what I'm saying? So, but once the brain stops, you're completely dead. It's just the heart can still live on, but you're basically brain dead. So, so the NDE is based off of clinical death mostly. So when people who actually died for a certain amount of time and was able to come back and they study on what they seen. And there's arguments between it. We go see the arguments. We go see what some people are saying and why these critics are saying and what some people are saying because this is a new study. Okay. I'm gonna let you read a part of this, so you can read this part.
All right. So Dr. Bruce Grayson is an American psychiatrist and near-death experience researcher. During his research of near-death experiences, known as near-death studies, he has documented many accounts of near-death experiences and has written many journal articles as well as participated in media interviews on the subject, playing a crucial role in inviting broader cross-disciplinary scientific inquiry to the field. This is Dr. Bruce Grayson.
Now
That's
he is the leading
psychiatrist.
doctor. He is the leading doctor, and he's the leading doctor in NDE.
Near-death experiences.
Yeah, he's part of VCU college.
Oh, so he
Okay.
right down the street from us. He right
Yeah.
here.
Yep. So he's in Virginia, but he's a leading the NDE. What he do is go to you got a headphone though?
No, I don't.
Okay, cause some I could hear like myself talking when I'm. Let me see. So it's better now. But so what he does is go to places like hospice and or people that like I said been clinically dead, and he sit by them and he interview them. He writes stuff down what they seen, and he go to studies. How studies go, what people don't understand, studies go by. I go to 3,000 people, 4,000 people, and I research and study what they seen. So he's going to these certain people and see what they seen, and he's picking out the specific ones that most people see when they die. Uh,
Great psychedelic drug experiences are associated with decreases in brain activity. Some people in advanced stages of dementia who have lost consciousness paradoxically become lucid again when the brain deteriorates sufficiently just before death. Most NDEs include enhanced consciousness when the brain is seriously impaired. The question is whether physical brain activity can create consciousness, and no one has ever shown any mechanism by which a chemical or electrical event can create thought. The evidence suggests rather that consciousness can function independent of brain activity and that the brain serves to filter or interpret thoughts for the benefit of the physical body. But if consciousness can function without brain activity, then it potentially could continue after the brain dies.
Now, this is where I teach the subconscious conscious can live outside the brain, and that's why I tell people when you subconsciously move, what does that mean? That means you don't have to think it, but you're literally physically thinking it. Meaning, you can when you move your finger. Hold on, all right. When you move your finger, your subconscious called subconsciously move your finger, meaning you're not saying move my finger, but you literally are saying move your finger. You see
Yeah.
what I'm saying? You literally are saying it. So within a second, your subconscious is connecting with your conscious, was connected to your mind, was connected to your brain. Then your brain sends messages down your nervous system and goes in straight to your finger and moves it within a second. Okay, so that means you're subconsciously moving, meaning you don't have to think it. It happens. But inside of your body, it is messages going down. So your brain is saying finger move, but it's so smooth and so fast, you just don't understand that it is. So the
So what
set
about
up, uh,
so what about breathing? Is that the same situation for breathing?
well, yeah, breathing is, well, yeah, well, a lot of the organs, um, like the heart, because the heart is what pumps the oxygen and pumps it down. So the breathing is more like it's helping the oxygen go into the brain, and then it travels through the blood system, it travels through the heart, travels through the lungs.
But are
So
we are we consciously doing this or are we subconsciously doing that? Like
um,
it,
I'm gonna say we subconsciously doing it. We're
okay.
literally yeah, because we are subconsciously just breathing. We don't have to. You don't have to say breathe out, breathe out. You
We
see
just
what I'm
gonna
saying?
breathe.
So yeah, you're just subconsciously doing it. And the difference is a lot of our organs are not is not controlled by the brain. That's why the heart is not controlled by the brain. You see what I'm saying? That's why you can be brain dead and your heart still can survive. Your
Yeah.
stomach is not controlled by the brain. Your stomach actually can send signals, and your heart can send signals back to your brain. So when your stomach, that's why when your stomach hurt and you're sick, it actually can signals back up and say, "I'm sick." You see what I'm saying? So it, everything, the brain, the heart, and the stomach are really the lungs. That's why they're the main components. Because once them things, because the lungs and heart and all that work together with the oxygen. You know what I mean? The stomach is digest the food, and the brain is the one that gets all the messages and send them. So the brain is like the computer brain that's going back and forth. You can go to the next one.
What happens to consciousness after death? As far as we know at this point, it's true that all brain functions are electrical or chemical and are potentially measurable, although that may be impractical in some circumstances. And it's true that electrical and chemical activity in the brain ceases very quickly after bodily death, but that doesn't say anything about the relationship between brain activity and consciousness. There is evidence that consciousness is associated with brain activity in normal circumstances. When our brains are injured or affected by drugs or consciousness suffers, but there is also a lot of evidence that consciousness is not associated with brain activity in extreme circumstances.
Yeah. So it's saying that the subconscious is separate from the brain, and people would think that the conscious and subconscious is inside of the brain, which is inside of the mind, but it is outside of it. And this is what they're trying to say. They're trying to say it's outside of it. That's why you're going to see when people die, they say they didn't feel anything, because feelings, emotions come from the chemical compounds inside of your body. Okay, so that means if your brain releases certain chemicals that causes love, that causes a thing called love, that causes a thing called fear, that causes a thing called fight or flight. These are physical aspects of life. So when you fear releases a chemical. It makes your heart beat fast. It does stuff to you And that's what fear is. It's a physical aspect that comes from chemicals released. Same thing as love. Same thing as lust. Same thing as, lust comes from a part that, we know where lust comes from, but,
Yeah.
it's all chemical compounds. Then we got the electrical part, meaning the problem I have now, I have electrical problem, meaning sometimes my brain can go to my heart, like when I'm asleep and don't, and they don't communicate. So therefore the oxygen don't go where it's supposed to go sometimes, and I feel like I'm suffocating. So I actually had to tell myself to breathe. So that's when I had to go inside and say breathe. So it's electrical problems too. So it's chemicals and electrical problems that we all have inside of our body. So when we scared, it releases a certain chemical. When we in love, it releases dopamine. When we fear, it releases this. It makes your heart beat fast. It makes you do stuff to make you cause how that feel it as fear. Okay. So this is real small. I don't know if many people could read this, but this was just showing the stuff that he does. Like he goes to other places like India, and see, I just like researchers. So he just don't stay in a mindset of just American Western things. He go to places like India. He go to other places that have history or speaking on after death, and he talks to them. He have conversations with, have meetings with them. You know what I'm saying? Because this is what you do when you research. You go and see what other people have experienced, why they believe what they believe, why they say what they say. We don't just say, "Oh no, we throwing it away because they something else." Not saying you had to believe it. I'm just saying that's what research does. But this is real small, so I don't want to read that part. But all right, this is him meeting with the Dalai Lama. During his visit, Dr. Grayson presented the Dalai Lama with a copy of the latest book, the Handbook Near Death Experience. The Tibetan Library and the Works of Archives will be translated the book into Tibetan for the use of monastic curriculum. One of the central topics of the conference was the relationship between mind, conscious, and brain, and the keynote speakers of the topic were Dr. Grayson Lobsang Tenzin Nail, PhD co-director of Emory University, collaborative and contemplative studies. Keynote address describes some of the research of the Division of Perceptual Studies over the past 40 years, including studies of near-death experiences as well as research into cases of children who claim to remember previous lives. The attendees were appreciative of the increased understanding of this topic afforded by use of the scientific investigations. So I did a study also on reincarnation, right? Um, and like I said, when I'm talking about reincarnation, this is not, I don't this is not something I believe. This some of these things I study. See, I don't have to believe it. I just study it, see what's going on. So it's things like reincarnation where kids are saying that they was in a past life and they remembered it. And they had one kid who got killed in the past, right? And 10 years later, I think, or 15 years later, a child was born. And by the time he was 2, 3 years old, he was saying he was this guy. And they didn't believe him. But you know what he did? He went to them and said, I'm going to show you where my body is. I'm going to show you where I got killed at. He showed them where he got killed at. He showed them where his wife was in the past. He showed them the two guys that killed him. Do you know the two guys are in prison to this day right now because they got so scared they turned themselves in? See, people don't know that.
Hey, so do you believe?
Do I believe what?
If you believe that story, then you got to believe in reincarnation, right?
Um, yeah, I mean, when I say see, I don't say believe because believe meaning I don't have no evidence. I just believe. What I'm saying is
Okay.
that shows me that there's evidence that it could be something outside of this life. See, I don't try to say believe. I'm saying there's evidence. That was said. Anybody we can say we believe in reincarnation, but can you do you have evidence? Can you
Can
show
you
me
prove?
something? People believe that Jesus walked on water. Can you prove that you can actually walk on water? You see what I'm saying? It's,
Well,
I mean, so that's what I mean when I say there's a difference between belief and proof and evidence. All right. So I'm gonna let you read the one after this. Neuroscience News.com. consciousness cannot simply be reduced to a natural activity alone. Researchers say a novel study reports that dynamics of consciousness may be understood by a newly developed conceptual and mathematical framework. Okay. Now we get into neuroscience. This is studying the consciousness, stuff like that. So I'm gonna let you read this one.
Hold on, before we get into this, I
Okay.
do got something to add to this. Like, well, maybe I wait till after we.
No, I mean, no, you good. You good.
No, I'm gonna wait till we get into the neuroscience because there's a
Okay.
lot of stuff going on with neuroscience and like people trying to save the consciousness to put it in another body and
Yeah.
what's the Tesla dude name? What's his name? The dude that owns Tesla,
Elon Musk.
Elon Musk, and there's a lot going on with neuroscience. So we'll get into that a little bit later.
I
But
think his name Elon Musk. I know it's something
yeah,
Musk.
Elon Musk, you're right. So
Yeah.
Dr. Dear Laha, my field of study is neuroscience and consciousness studies. I use network theory, nonlinear dynamics, and chaos, and developed a model for chaotic neutral networks. Recently, I developed a new physical theory to answer the hard problem of consciousness. The relativistic theory of consciousness. Since I
Oh
remember
snap. My
myself,
bad. I skipped it. All right, there you go.
I have always loved science, philosophy, and art.
Okay, so like what I do when I do research, what I do is before I go into it, if I go what these people say, I like to put their credentials. I like to put what they are, what they do, what they profession in before I say I go in what they say. So you see him, he is real. He's profession in the consciousness and neuroscience. Okay, how the consciousness work actually with the brain. This is another guy we gonna be saying what he says.
All right. This is Zachariah
Zachariah, yeah, Name,
in the mid. I recently
yeah.
completed my PhD in philosophy at the University of Memphis under the direction of Dr. Sean Gallagher. I currently teach remotely for Stanford University and the University of Arizona Global Campus. I am a member of the Cognitive Computing Research Group developing the Leader Cognitive Architecture in 2019. I was a fellow of the Cavell Institute for Cognitive Neuroscience. My research lies at the intersection between the philosophy of mind, cognitive science, and phenomenology, continental phenomenology.
Oh, you finished? Okay, my
Yeah.
bad. So so this guy right here, he's also a part of neuroscience, phenomenon. So these people are near-death experience studiers, neuroscience, phenomena. People they study on resurrection. So they study on a lot of these things. Like I said, there's a lot of new research that's coming out because people want to know now. I mean, like I said, it's good to believe, it's good to read the books and get a concept of it, but I want to start knowing and having more of a that's just my because of my research. I just want to research to see, hey, can I talk to a person that doesn't have the faith or have a biblical belief in it? Can I still convince them there's something after this? It is something after because a lot of atheists believe that you just die and just go away, and that's the thing that I have because they're trying to say science says it isn't, and I'm saying all science doesn't say this. I'm saying everybody don't believe this. I'm saying there's stuff that happened in hospitals. It's stuff that happened in things that shows that it's something after this. Now, when I say the subconscious, it could be what people with biblical people say spirit, what people say soul, even though we understand the different aspects of when you go into the language. But when people talk about like outside the body entity, I always told people if you think it's going to be a spirit where you just outside of your spirit, you look like yourself. I say I can't believe that because I understand genetics. And how would your genetics go inside of your spirit? How would your spirit take your genetics outside of your body and make yourself look like something that genetics made you physically? So that's just stuff I have. That's why I study science because I don't just me personally I just don't want to believe. I want to understand. I want to have evidence with my belief. That's why I said belief, fact, research, science, history, all that stuff actually works together. It doesn't supposed to be separate, and that's where a lot of people make that mistake at.
So, question before we go any further.
Okay.
Like I was telling you about Elon Musk, saying about Elon Musk and his company Neuralink, and how
Yeah.
they're trying to put consciousness on computer chips, and really like they're trying to figure out how they can get consciousness inside of these, like inside of artificial intelligence and build robots. And what is your opinions on those type of situations?
Um. Well, they it's hard, it's going to be hard for them to do because they don't really understand the subconscious, right? They kind of understand the conscious, which has deals with the emotions, with the mind and the brain, but they don't really understand the subconscious, right? And that's why they can't. And that's why I said that's where the subconscious is where the soul lies, what you call the soul, the spirit
Yeah,
lies, because that's why they can make an AI, but they will never ever make an AI that's human, right? That has human real feelings. AI, even when they talk about like the future, the movies, when they talk about the Terminator, they had a part of the scene of the Terminator was living with a wife and he had kids, right? But it wasn't his kids, but he was living like a regular human living with his wife. But they asked him, "Hey, how did you be able to do this? And you're just an AI, or what they call a Terminator, whatever." Um, he was like, "I adapted. I've been around y'all for so long. I know when you cry. I know when you sad. I know when you're supposed to do this. I studied your soul." So they just going off of human reaction. So, oh, this is when you cry. This is when you're supposed to be mad. This is when you sad. This is when you so they adapt to the environment they're around, but they never can understand how it feels to be sad. They don't know how it feels to fear. They only can react off of copying. You know?
now I'm on this Neuralink website right now, right?
Yeah.
And it's basically, I wonder how many people, like I'm just curious, but they having like clinical trials, and they got an application where you can submit your application to like go into the trials and stuff. I'm pretty sure you got to sign a non-disclosure if you get accepted. And yeah,
Yeah.
like they're trying to put computer chips in people's heads. This ain't no more a thing of
Yeah.
science fiction. This is our new reality, yo. And I know you just now went over it, but like,
Well,
do you think you see? Do you think we will ever be in a time where we can come close to replicating human consciousness in robots and other living entities, or whatever the case may be?
but see, that's why I said, see, they talk about the conscious, right? But I tell people is I call it the super conscious. See, it's the super conscious and conscious are not the same thing. And that's what people don't
Okay.
understand. The conscious is actually closer with the brain. So the conscious is actually controlling as part of with emotions and stuff. All that works together with the brain. So it's more of a down of a lower. The subconscious is what they don't understand. The subconscious is so big and it does so much stuff. I mean, I'm gonna be speaking on the subconscious at the end of this, but the subconscious is different. You know what I mean? So that's what they're just getting. They're just studying the conscious right now. They ain't even at the subconscious. You see what I'm saying? Because they don't under because really many of them don't even believe in the spirit or the soul, so they don't even know how to function with that yet. So they're going into they're just trying to figure out is the conscious outside of the brain first and see how the conscious works until they get into the subconscious. But the subconscious, I'm telling people, is where the soul is, and I don't think they can ever create a soul. Now, neuroscience, they had a thing where people was talking about where they can take your conscious, put it inside a computer, but they're not actually taking your conscious and putting it inside of the computer right now. They actually can copy your consciousness and trying to put it in the computer. Like they had a John, it was a show, Dark Web, where this dude said he did a volunteer thing and they copy his conscience and put it in the computer and they put him in a room with himself in the computer. And the computer's like, "Hey, what's going on? Why I'm in here?" And he talking to himself. And then his conscience actually got mad because he said, "Where I'm at, there's no time. There's nothing here." So he got so mad that he wanted to destroy the computer because he felt like his conscience was trapped inside the computer, but it wasn't because he had his own conscience, but they copied his conscience. So it's now that's just something that they're thinking about doing. I don't believe they did it yet, but that's something they think they're trying to do. They're trying to find a way to survive outside of the body with their consciousness.
Yes.
But a lot of them believe you have to have the brain wave. You have to have the brain and have to have the brain still alive. That's why they're trying to find a way to, okay, can I take the brain out? Do I need this brain to keep this consciousness? That's why they're studying it. And if they figure out or find out that I don't need this brain for this consciousness, then I have to find out how can I take this consciousness outside of this without this brain.
Okay.
And that's why they studying
That's
the waves. That's why they studying electricity of it. That's why they studying how, you know what I'm saying? So they trying to get to that point. The thing about science, man, they could study for years and years and years and years. People think that they could just say, "Oh, hey, this how it works, and let's go." It doesn't work. Science don't work like that. You know what I mean?
yeah. They like economists think that like neuroscience is like really gonna be the next big wave after AI. Like it's gonna be the next thing that push the economy. So yeah. I going to this next slide. It says in contrast to
Yeah,
huh?
yeah. And see, I teach this stuff not to. I teach this stuff not to tell us to praise none of this stuff. I teach this stuff. Can you hear me?
No, I can't.
Sure.
Yeah, I can. Yeah, I can hear you now.
Hello.
Yeah, can you hear me?
You can't
Can
hear
you
me at
hear me?
all.
Yeah, I can hear you. Can you hear
Okay,
me?
okay. Yeah, I can hear you.
I bet.
Yeah, I can hear you. Yeah, we gotta watch it sometime 'cause they be trying to cut you off. But yeah. So I don't do this stuff to get people to say, "Hey, we should give up our faith. We should give up the believing and go and start studying science." See, I believe that science, history, biblical, all this stuff works together, man. And that's what people don't understand. And that's why a
Yeah.
lot of people are failing because they don't want to study science, but we are around science, and science is evolving every day around us, and we got to catch up with this stuff. We got to understand what the people are doing. We got to understand the stuff that they are doing. People talk about cloning, but when you hear people talk about cloning, they don't have no idea what cloning is. That's why they think Gucci Mane is cloned. That's why they think Kodak Black is cloned because they don't know how cloning
Yeah.
works. They think it's a machine that just makes human beings and clone them. They don't understand that you have to take the cell from the body and put it in the egg, and then they have to fuse it together, and then they have to put it in a surrogate mother and make it grow again. They don't understand that. Now, is it getting to a part where they're trying to do it without having to put it in the surrogate mother? Yes, they trying to do it like that, but it hasn't happened yet. So that's what I'm saying. They don't understand how science works. Science, they giving these people too much power into believing that these people could just make anything happen like that.
Yeah.
All right, we can read the next one.
All right. In contrast to being under anesthesia or in a dreamless deep sleep while we're awake, we don't live in the dark. We experience the world and ourselves. But how the brain creates the consciousness experience and what area of the brain is responsible for this remains a mystery. According to Dr. Nir Lahav, uh, a physicist from Bar-Ilan University in Israel, this is quite a mystery, since it seems that our consciousness experience cannot arise from the brain, and in fact cannot arise from any physical process. As straight as it sounds, the consciousness experience in our brain cannot be found or reduced to some neural activity.
Now you see what he's saying? You hear you
Yeah,
understand what
so
he's saying?
basically, the consciousness is not physical at all.
He said, but how the brain creates the consciousness experience and what area of the brain is responsible for this remains mystery. Then he said, this is quite a mystery since it seems that our consciousness experience cannot arise from the brain, and in fact cannot arise from any physical process. So
Yeah.
he's
So
saying
the
we
consciousness
studying
is
this
basically
neuro,
through about it.
we
You can
studying the electronics, we studying the. Oh, I think I'm lagging. That's what's happening. But can you hear me?
yeah, I can hear you.
Yeah, 'cause I'm lagging, probably lagging a little bit. But they saying that it cannot they saying that it cannot be contained into just a physical action. That the compounds the chemical compounds they studying, the neuroscience, the electricity, the messages, the brain, everything they studying, they still believe and understand that the consciousness is outside of this. The brain does not make the conscious makes the brain. And that's what they believe. So this is what he's saying. He's saying that the consciousness is so extraordinary, it's no way that it's a physical aspect, just like the mind. It's
Yeah.
not a physical thing that you can study. The consciousness is not a physical thing. Just like dreams, they can study and study and study, but it's hard to study because it's not a physical thing.
And to be
Okay.
honest, like that kind of the dream world kind of lets me know that that subconscious world is a reality. Like, cause like the dreams be so real and so in depth that like I can't explain it. Like I mean, I just know that it's not physical. You know what I'm saying? But it's still real. You see what I'm saying? Can you hear me?
Yeah. Somebody said the soul has an intelligent memory that survives death. And yeah, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you now. The soul
Can you
has
hear me? Yeah, yeah. It's just probably lagging a little bit.
the soul has an intellective memory that survives death and can also
Okay,
have
somebody
influence
said these people.
by direct infusion of ideas into the mind. Okay.
He said these people will be for a rude awakening when they wake up in Sha'el. Um, I'm doing a show on Sha'el too, Sha'el, Hell, Hades, and showing I'm gonna have a show coming up with that too. So you can come
All right.
on when that show come on. Let me
So
know how you feel about that. Um,
to a person who
like
doesn't know what that is,
like I said, my what Sha'el?
yeah, quick, fast.
Okay, Sha'el is a Hebrew. Sha'el is a Hebrew version of after death. So they believe when you die that you're going into this place, this dark place. Some say, the ancient Israelites believed that you just was going into the grave. Then it became like a sha'al, where it was a dark place that kind of represented the grave. Then it became a place where everybody went to before they separated. And then they started making copies of it like Hades and Hell. It's a biblical Hebrew belief of this is what after death is. You see what I'm saying? So that's why I say I'm not trying to take away people after death. I'm not trying to prove that it is no Sha'el or there's no place after here. I'm showing that I have evidence that there's something after this. So when they try to come with signs or try to say it ain't nothing after this, you just die, you go to the grave, and this, and there's no proof of you when you leave when your body died, you still alive. I'm saying it is evidence of it. I'm saying it is proof of it, and it's correlating what the biblical say, what ancient people said about death. That's what I'm saying about it.
All right. You want me to continue
David
reading?
Washington, peace, David. All right. Yeah.
Think about it this way, says Dr. Zachariah Nima, a philosopher from the University of Memphis. When I feel happiness, my brain will create a distinctive pattern of complex neural activity. This neural pattern will perfectly correlate with my consciousness feeling of happiness. But it is not my actual feeling. It is just a neural pattern that represents my happiness. That's why a scientist looking at my brain and seeing this pattern should ask me what I feel, because the pattern is not the feeling itself, just a representation of it. As a result, we can't reduce the consciousness experience of what we sense, feel, and think to any brain activity. We can just find correlations to these experiences. After more than 100 years in neuroscience, we have very good evidence that the brain is responsible for the creation of our conscious abilities. So how could it be that these conscious experience, the conscious experiences can be found anywhere in the brain or in the body and can be reduced to any neural complex activity? This mystery is known as the hard problem of consciousness. It is such a difficult problem that until a couple of decades ago, only philosophers discussed it, and even today, although we have made huge progress in our understanding of the neuroscientific basis of consciousness, still there is no adequate theory that explains what consciousness is and how to solve this hard problem.
And you see what they're saying? All this research we're doing, all this stuff, they're trying to tell you, hey, the brain, the consciousness is inside of the brain. And he's saying there's no way they can say the consciousness outside of the brain because there's no physical action. When we go inside the brain and we say how you feeling, and and they get this signal. They're saying, hey, this coming from this part of the brain. They can't that's not correlating with the consciousness.
Got you.
It's only
You
coordinated
got
with the brain because the brain is a physical thing that we know that sends messages to the body. Huh?
There's a comment from David Washington. It says, "When I almost died and saw what I thought was the other side, it felt just like waking up from sleeping. Everything was super high definition, and these orbs of different colors looked like they were alive."
Exactly. You see what I'm saying? Because when we died, it's I mean people would say and people would say it's crazy, but people would say it's dimensions. It's you're leaving a 3D dimension. You're leaving a physical dimension. You're leaving the physical world, and you're going into another world. Some people say spirit. Some people say the fourth dimension. Some people, these are words people are using. But you're leaving a physical world. Okay, you're leaving out of that, but you're keeping your consciousness because how can you still see stuff? You understand? So you're not really seeing just with your eyes. That's why they say the eyes have your soul. You're not just seeing with your. How could you be dead and still see if science is telling you the only way you can see is through your eyes, which see the light reflecting off your eyes and see this different ways. So that the eyes is not the only way that you literally can see because you actually can see inside of your mind. Am I right or wrong? When you have a dream, you're seeing inside of your mind. You're not seeing with your eyes. They're trying to say it's a thing
Mine is
called
like
lucid dreams. They're trying to say it's awakened dreams and stuff.
I don't know what you seeing and
Huh?
what you seeing. I don't know what you seeing when you see in the dream. Like, I don't know what that is.
No, what I'm saying is what I'm saying is when you close your eyes, you still can see, right? You still have a
Yeah,
picture of an image inside of your brain, right?
yeah. Do you think?
Yeah. So
And this might
therefore,
be a little
the way they
crazy
saying you the
question.
only way you can see is not real.
Do you think blind people
Yeah.
see? Blind people that have been blind their whole life, do you think they see? Do they have the conscious ability?
I know I know blind people. I know black people can see because if you watch the movie Ray Charles, right, what the first thing he do? He feels a woman's face.
But Ray
Why are
Charles
you
wasn't
feeling
always
somebody's
blind.
face? Because
So
that
so
that
so Ray
feeling
Charles
he
wasn't always blind. So that's a bad example.
huh?
Ray Charles became blind. Ray Charles wasn't always
Okay.
blind. I'm saying the person
If you go
that's always been blind.
okay. Yes, I think you can see. You just of course you're not gonna be able to I don't think of course you're not gonna be able to see something like Ray Charles because you still have an image of what things look like. But when they feel stuff, it's hard. They still can walk and feel something and say this is a curve. If they've been taught this is a curve, you see what I'm saying? And what I'm saying is is when they close it, how would it stop them from having a dream? How would it stop them from being able to have a dream or see anything? Are you telling me blind people go to sleep and they don't have no dreams? You see what I'm
Yeah, that's
saying?
what I'm saying.
They still can imagine in their head. They still can image it. Can a deaf person still hear the inside of their can a deaf person still hear inside of their brain? I say yes. I say yes. You see what I'm saying? I mean, we'll have to, and that's where study come from. Now, what we should do is go. When I find a blind person, I'm gonna sit and talk to them about it and ask them. I don't know. So you see what I'm saying? So that's what studying does.
Yeah,
So when I go around, if I see a blind person or deaf person, I might ask them, "Hey, do you see stuff? Do you have dreams?" And that's how study goes.
yeah,
But I would imagine, I would have still imagined they still can see stuff. I still would imagine they still can see stuff because, but I'm just speaking on as far as a person saying they died and saying they seen something. Like a dude told me he died and he seen blackness, and I said, well, how did you see blackness? You can't. You see what I'm saying? That
yeah.
means you still was constantly awoke to see blackness.
Cause you, yeah,
So what I was saying, you still. So as far as when people say they died, they seen things outside of the eyesight. It lets you know that you can still see. You still have images, or you can still image inside of your brain. So that's what I mean when I say that the eyes is not the only thing that causes vision inside of your brain, and that's what they're saying. Because they're saying, well, where does dreams come from? How do they see this if their eyes are automatically closed? How do this person in this hospital say he seen me doing this when we know he was clinically dead? You see what I'm saying? And I mean, we will get into that too. So I think we already read this part, right?
yeah, we did. This next one.
Okay.
According
We
to
go
the
to the next
authors,
part. You can read that.
according to the authors, when we change our assumptions about
Yeah.
consciousness and assume that it is a relativistic phenomenon, the mystery of the consciousness naturally dissolves. In the paper, the researchers developed a conceptual and mathematical framework to understand consciousness from a relativistic point of view. According to Dr. Leha, the lead author of the paper, consciousness should be investigated with the same mathematical tools that physics use for other known relativistic phenomena. Now, the authors want to continue to examine the exact minimal measurements that any cognitive system needs in order to create consciousness. The implications of such a theory are huge. It can be applied to determine which animal was the first animal in the evolutionary process to have consciousness, when a fetus or baby begins to be conscious, which patients with consciousness disorders are conscious, and which AI systems already today have a low degree, if any, of consciousness.
Conscious. Okay. Consciousness come inside of the animal. When do consciousness come inside of the baby when it first is perceived as a fetus? Because we know that it turns into it fuses into an embryo first, it goes to a fetus. That's why they're arguing over when a baby is a baby. They want to know when the baby is actually conscious. When does it feel that pain? When you kill it, it's really murder and it's not murder. So I tell people the consciousness is developed when the sperm is set into the egg because anything that dies lives. So a sperm, if it dies, guess what? It was always alive. So, and that's why for my study, I say the sperm is what makes the brain. You know what I mean? It's when it fuses and they build around it. So that's my understanding from what I researched. But this is what they're saying as far as the AIs they created have a low sense of consciousness, a low sense of consciousness, if any. Meaning they don't really know because they don't even understand human conscious. How can they make a computerized conscious if they can't understand human conscious?
Yeah, I
They don't understand it that enough. They don't understand it that much because they think the consciousness is inside of the brain. Okay. Psychiatry, Royal College. All right, this guy right here, Dr. Tanzi, Rudy Tanzi, is Joseph P. and Rose Kennedy Professor of Neurology and Harvard University, vice chair of neurology, director of genetics, aging research unit, and co-director of Henry and Allison McCants Center for Brain Health in Massachusetts General Hospital. So this is another thing that they're doing too because they're studying diseases. Because a lot of science believe that you can live way, way longer if you didn't have a disease. So they're trying to do studies on find a way to get to or make a baby that don't have no diseases and keep it to where it don't catch no disease, see how long it actually can live. So this is what a lot of people they think diseases would cause the age, would cause people to die. Because I tell people, name me somebody that didn't die from a cause of death. Meaning even if they fell asleep, even they went to sleep in their sleep, their heart probably died, their lung gave out, they stopped breathing. Something happened to every person that died that we know of. We don't just know nobody that just died and they like, I don't know, he just died. He just died from old age. That's not a truth. That's not a real thing. Old age means you you start getting sick. You know what I mean? Your hair gets gray from malnutrients. A lot of stuff happens. You know what I'm saying? I watched a man grow to 97 years old and do things that 20-year-olds was doing. So I know that if you eat the right things, if you can keep that disease out your body, that viruses from the aging you so fast, that you can do things at 97 that people that I'm telling you, I was doing at 20. He's working on lawnmowers. He's going under lawnmowers, changing belts. He's tilling the ground, cutting the grass. I'm talking about doing stuff I ain't want to do at 20. So, things like that happen. But that's another subject that we get into. Um, Somebody said GMS. What? So is mentioned all over in the Tanakh. Yeah, I saw and read that. Yeah, we know about. Yeah, all right. I'm gonna read this for a part. Give you a little break. The above title appeared in the eye-catching headline of March 2012 over the article in Huffington Post, the online newspaper. It was called, authored by Deepak Chopra, MD, and Dr. Rudolph Tanzi, professor of neurology at Harvard Medical School, acknowledging that we live in a golden age of the brain research that is brilliantly mapping and decoding neural circuitry that nevertheless question the overreach, which they say has led 99% of the neuroscientists to assure that we are our brains. In this scheme, the brain is in charge, having evolved to control certain fixed behaviors. We are flooded with articles and books reinforcing the same assumption. The brain is using you, not the other way around. Both authors are renowned for their championing of an opposing view that in the mindset itself. I mean, the mind itself shapes material reality, including the brain, and that we do not have to submit to the neural pattern linked with the conditions such as depression, addicts, and phobias. It's very good news that you are not your brain. Kapoor and Tansy write, because when your mind finds its true power, the result is healing, inspiration, insight, self awareness, discovery, curiosity, and quantum leaps in personal growth. The real glory of human existence in the mind, not the brain that serves it. Did you hear that last one? In the mind, not the brain that serves it. He's saying that you are more special than just this brain, this body, this nervous system, this thing. He's saying that you are greater than that. He's saying your mind is greater than that. Your consciousness is greater than that. And we have to stop building ourselves in this box of science where they just say, okay, this is what it is, and that's where it should stay. They're branching off and saying we ain't gonna just sit there and let you say this. We're gonna go further, and that's what these people are doing. Conscious realism. Conscious realism, all objects are mind dependent, perception and not objective reporting, but active construction. The physical world of space time, objects, matter, so on is a friendly user interference between any particular observer and a deeper reality. The theory offers a possible solution to why the mind body problem has been such a persistent puzzle. We may have a confused cause. Our consciousness will affect our relationship with the material icons surrounding us, including the body. It is a thought that we have been playing a giant game of virtual tennis, for example, and forget that neither the players nor the ball are literal representations of reality, but an interference with the computer that holds the rules of the game. We are getting to a point that we understand that we actually create. This is what the reality thing we were talking about. That we actually create our own reality. Our brain and mind is so powerful, and I heard Billy Carson talking about this one day. Our brain and stuff is so powerful. We taking atoms and we making it solid. When you go into these materials and they say this thing supposed to be 99% atom, we supposed to be able to go through these things, but we actually, through our mind system, can actually cause this wave of and atoms and make it solid. Well, that's why we say we only use 10% of our body. Look at the people who know how to control their power of their body, like the monks, who can put a sword to their throat, who can stand on their head, who can hang from a tree just from their neck, who can, what I mean, who can take the energy and make their body so solid that you can kick them in their private part, it don't even hurt. You see what I'm saying? This is control of. This is the people that know that they control their body, not that their body control them. And most people in the world, most people in the world have been tricked that our bodies control us. That's why we hear people like Dr. Sebi tell you, if you just eat right, if like Greg, Dick Gregory tell you, man, when you talk to your cells can reproduce itself and heal yourself. We don't believe that because we believe when our body gets sick, there's nothing we can do. We believe when our mind tell us we depressed, we got to be depressed. When we get addicted to something, we say, oh, we got addicted personality, but we don't try to say, you know what, I'm just not going to do it because we believe that we can't. And that's the concept of how this matrix have created a lot of people. You want to read this, but or did you fall off? Oh, you fell off. All right, you call me. Um, Similarly, brains do not cause consciousness. Consciousness creates brains and dramatically simplified icons for realm far more complex. A realm is interacting conscious agents. This is very counterintuitive idea, given that human brains are considered to be the most complex objects in the universe. But information technology has been showing us how to store more and more information on less and less material terms. Perhaps it's not unimaginable that the complete absence of matter in a realm of mind alone, substrate much more subtle than the material realm. Vastly more information might be available. Theory holds that treating objects as if they are permanent, a convenient skill that only develops in children about 9 months old, is illusionary. Something continues to exist when the child stops observing, but that something is not the physical object that the child sees when it observes. That something is instead a complex, dynamical system of conscious agents that triggers the child to create a physical object icon when a child interacts with that system. The theory does not claim that everything we see is unreal, but says instead that all sensory perceptions are real in the sense that headaches are real, they exist and are observed, dependent, they exist so long as they are experienced. So they saying a headache is not a headache is something that we bring into reality because we can observe it, and once we experience it, it becomes a part of our reality. You see what I'm saying? You understand what that means? We can recreate our own reality. We can create things that's not a physical as aspect of just a physical thing. They don't know everything a headache comes from, but a headache once it happens and we have it, we name it a headache and we call it we create this reality called the headache because we create our own. but it's not something that's uh reality physically. Can't take a headache out and study the headache. You can't put a headache in the machine. You can put the brain where the headache evolves at the machine to see what can it do, what signals and stuff that it does, and try to do tests on it. But you can't literally take a headache out and study it. It's not a physical reality thing. It's something that happens to us, and it's part of our reality now because it happened to us. So it exists because it happens, and it's part of us now. So it happens. All right. Doctor Who lost brain function, their self. The best-selling book Proof of Heaven, Dr. Ibn Alexander, eminent neurosurgeon, describes his recollection of week-long coma caused by a rare form of bacterial meningitis. I was incarnating the reality of the world conscious that exists completely free of the limitations of my physical brain, he says. My experience showed me that the death of the body of the brain are not the end of consciousness. Let me say it again for you. Let me say it again for you. My experience showed me that the death of the body and the brain are not the end of consciousness. He felt desperate to communicate what he had learned as soon as he recovered his everyday faculties. Love and compassion, he writes, are far more than abstracts. Many of us believe them to be. They are real, they are concrete, and they make up the very fabric of the spiritual realm. Okay? Should I go to that? So these are people right here. These are just different people different doctors who lost brain functions, who had near death experiences, and who was telling their stories. So when you see these names right here, they're all people who, and they might didn't even believe it at the time. But now they're starting to believe that it's a conscious outside of this body. So these are the different names of the different doctors. A person without their body. These are like regular people who had experiences outside of their body. She went into a state of super awareness during a coma brought on by end stage of lymphoma. It felt as though I had 360-degree peripheral vision, and it was as if I had extended beyond my body. She says I was aware of my physical body. I could see it lying on the hospital bed, but I was longer attached to the body. I was no longer attached to the body. It felt as though I could be everywhere at the same time. Wherever I put my awareness, there I was. I mean, I even talked to people that had this type of experience too. Okay, let me see if anybody else saying anything. Okay, keep going. All right, this one I'm talking about the chemical composition, right? The chemicals release inside the body. They cause certain feelings and emotions. I love chemicals. So the reason I'm showing this is to show what I mean that um, a lot of these aspects of what we call love, what we call fear, is just chemical components inside of our bodies. That's why a lot of people, when they pass, you're going to see they say, I didn't have no fear. It just felt like I was there. That's why they say, like you said, it felt like it was a dream. You know why you fear inside of a dream? You fear inside of a dream because you're still in the physical body. People say you're not, but I'm saying it's still, well, even if you're not in the physical body, you don't believe, it's still attacking your physical body. Because I've had nightmares where I wake up and you're sweating, your heart is beating fast. That's the chemical compounds of your heart beating of fear, releasing chemicals to make your body do that. Okay, love chemical composition. Lust is a part of love and release chemical. A seductive or a person with a game knows how to release the chemical or when the chemical is at its highest level to benefit them. Love is an action made up of three things: lust, attachment, and attraction. which comes from three chemical compositions: oxytocin, dopamine, estrogen, testosterone, and neuropinephrine, and serotonin. Lust is a need to reduce. Lust is driven by the desire to sexual gratification. The evolutionary basis for this stems from our need to reproduce. Attraction that allows sexual attraction seems to be a distinct, though closely related phenomenon. While we can certainly lust for someone, we are attracted to the right to and vice versa. One can't happen without the other. Attachment increases trust among adults lacking secure attachment. Oxytocin reduces fear and betrayal and faculties in development of trust and constructive social exchange. So they saying lust, love, attraction, all works together, but certain ones don't have to always work together. I mean, you can have lust and not have love. You could be attached and not have love, because a lot of that is wanting to reproduce. Even though when you see a lot of people, why does this person keep having sex and they don't all never use a condom, and they always have different kids, because it's still that's still that it's still that thing inside you, the chemical inside that makes you want to produce. And that's why it's getting weird to a point where people are wanting to have sex and not wanting to produce. It's getting to that point. That's why the biblical, and when you go into the biblical, he said, "Be fruitful and multiply," because this is a natural thing that you want to do. You want to have sex and produce. You want to have sex and have kids. You want to be able to want to breed. This is anything in any animal kingdom. When they have sex, they breed. This is something that you want to do. Okay. Chemical composition of fear. Fear is not spiritual, it is a human reaction. It studies people who were classified to be clinically dead, said they didn't have fear or any emotion because emotion is an action of the flesh, not of the soul. Chemical composition of fear, it is ability to recognize danger, leading to an urge to confront or flee from it. Fear can also be an instant reaction to something presently happening. Fear is a chain reaction to the brain that starts with a stressful stimulus and ends with the release of chemicals that cause a racing heart, fast breathing, energized muscles, among other things, also known as the fight and flight response. There are certain areas of the brain at least involved in fear. The motor sensory cortex, hippocampus, amygdala. Uh, uh, the amygdala is an area of the brain with almond shape and receives a large amount of information in our development environment. For example, smell, sight, sounds. The signals from the amygdala reach the hypothalamus, the area where the corticotropic corti- uh, corti- corticotropic releases hormone, which is in turn responsible for the release of cortisol, stress hormone. So they're showing right here the picture of everything that's talking about the chemicals and how they work together and causes fear. But the slow breathing, the the heart racing. What else does that cause? When it causes them chemicals, it causes that anxiety, panic. All that kind of is related. All right. So, what do people see after death? Let's go to this. The first thing, the main thing, is people see light. That's the main thing people see from the studies that they have had of clinical death and NDE is the light. Seeing the white light, one of the most common and well known near death experiences for those who died and come back and seeing a bright white light. This white light isn't something to be afraid of. In fact, most report it common is coming from a sense of peace or even happiness. Many have speculated about the symbolism behind the bright light. It's said to be the light of God, heaven, paradise, or even just an entering the void of nothingness. Either way, it seems as something to be something. It seems it's not seen as something to be afraid of. Let me see if he can. I ain't come back. All right. So it's saying there's white light, and many people would take it as a symbol of God, heaven, paradise. But they said whatever it is so peaceful. It's not something that makes you want to be afraid. Well, we already explained that. But I mean, it's just, I can see why people say that, But I'm saying, and that's what I'm saying, that the biblical books do have science in it. It does have history in it if you really understand it, if you really know how to break it down. Stop believing and study it. What was that? Hold on. All right, let's go. What that was, but come over here. All right, let's see if I can go back and forth. All right, let's go to this. Bruce Grayson, world leading expert in near death experience. This is the guy we were showing from the beginning of the video. So, do people really see the light? The answer is sort of. Many people who encounter NDE experiences what Grayson calls an overwhelming sense of peace and well being. Oftentimes, it's not an actual electrical light bulb. People describe it as a living entity radiating tremendous love, acceptance, and warmth. They feel enveloped by it. It permeates their being, and they don't know what to call it. He notes some they simply name it the light. Grace supposes the seeing the light can be deeply moving experience associated with peace and tranquility. It's not just a ray of sunlight or electrical bulb. While some people do see brilliance, is more about the feeling of the light itself, warmth, positivity, and freedom. So again, this is the world leader of near death experience. This is the guy who went to these places, who interviewed these people, who clinically did and came back and sat there and studied, asked them what they seen, went to thousands of people in the hospice, and wrote down what mostly they have seen, and most of the people have seen what they call the light. And this is another thing that I heard some atheists say they seen. And this is called blackness, darkness. So when a lot of people say they seen this, don't let people make it seem like don't make people make it seem like that. Um, it's something that everybody's going to see. Because, like I said, people seeing different things. So when these atheists talking about, oh, that dad, I seen darkness, and I tell them, hey, I mean, I don't know what to tell you. You should be fearful of that. You know what I mean? But this is what some of them say: there's emptiness and time itself. In many books after the life or death, some people report not feeling much of anything in the space between life and death. It's described as blackness, as falling into time itself, the vast emptiness. Is sometimes seen as scary, but most who have been there themselves saw this collective experience of history, like joining the universal consciousness. This is the way to feel connected to the great beyond, Some describe this as a feeling nothing at all, where others felt trapped in a universal being and togetherness. So I've seen people talk about when they was in the darkness and there was other people around, and then all of a sudden they seen a light, or they was in like a universal in the universe, like in a darkness void. So people do see this, but again, when people say they see this, they try to make it seem like, hey, when I died, I didn't see nothing. I was just there. It felt like I was just asleep. It felt like I seen blackness. They try to make you believe that this is what everybody sees when they die. But then they want to tell you, hey, them people weren't really there when they try to say they seen something. But when they try to say something, they try to want you to believe that they seen someone they passed, claiming they died, and that's the trick of atheists. That's not true. You don't have a feeling when you see the light. You don't nothing unless you come back. Yeah, I mean that's what I was saying. They try to slip in the feeling of love and this and that. But if you really read what they were saying, they say you feel nothing. It's like it's a. I guess that's the only thing they kind of could explain, because they only can explain it from a physical form. That's why I was trying to get people to understand. They can't explain it. That it's just like the concept. They can't explain something that's outside of the physical form in the physical form. They only can explain it from the physical. So when they say this, they gotta explain it from the physical. It's like a peaceful. It's like a loving thing, because they don't know what else to explain it. That's why they say it's the light, because they can't explain it. So they have to explain it in a physical way so other people can kind of understand what they're saying. But yes, I agree, and that's why I just explained they can't feel nothing, because a feeling, as far as emotions and stuff, is a physical thing in the world. All right, seeing relatives after death. Hold on, did I ain't skipping it, man. Person explains how. Okay, person explains how they seen doctors after they died. I've died once. I don't remember much about it except that there was a nice dark nothingness, which I guess felt kind of cozy, but I also knew it was the end, so I would better not. I do not know. I knew I wasn't supposed to go into the dark, like I was in the dark, but I wasn't supposed to be enjoying it, because if I embraced it too much, I would die. It was kind of like falling asleep and vaguely remembering a dream when you wake up. Now, I have an argument with this because I've heard a person that got shot, and he was telling a story on when he was like between dying, and he said it felt so good. It felt like he was asleep, like he had been sleeping a long time, like it was gonna be the best sleep ever. And he seen dark, and he felt it to where he understood, like, oh, I can't let this overtake me because I'll die. So it's I think this person, from what they experienced, it might have didn't go into like a straight clinical death. They kind of was like between and almost going into it. And if they would have just fell into it, they would have been gone. Who is this? Oh, they already. What's up? Well, he can jump in anyway.
What's going on? What's going on?
Yo,
Yep.
peace, peace. Can you hear me?
Yep, I can hear you.
Oh, okay. Yo.
I'm just gonna listen there. I ain't got my mic.
Oh, oh, okay, okay. Yes, I was explaining the darkness of the people. You know how these atheists be trying to say, "Oh, I seen darkness," try to make it seem like this is what everybody gonna see. So I'm saying that some people do see this, but this is not the main thing people see. I was just finished talking about the light. Um, so another thing people see is relatives after death. Don't ask where I picked this picture. I mean, I just picked the picture, but some people see relatives after death. Even when my mama passed, it was so crazy because she was in the hospital. She said she seen her mama, she seen everybody, and she was smiling, and she just So some people, see things like this. Some people see the light, and this is going from the man who was just researching, going to different people who's clinically dead. Now we already explained that clinically dead doesn't mean you've of what they call biologically dead, meaning your brain and heart stop. It means your heart stopped and you was able to come back. So that could be an argument with a lot of people, but I'm just saying that to me, there's enough evidence to show that something could be after this. So people see relatives after death. And let's go to the next. Talking with the dead relatives. Another common experience for those who face death is feeling like they're reconnecting with their loved ones who have already passed. Many people describe feeling like they've entered a room of space full of loved ones. These individuals might have a message of hope, peace, and love. Though these are deceased relatives, there is no fear. It's simply a source of peace, knowing that when you're surrounded by those you love most in her book, "What If This Was Heaven?" Author Anita Borjani describes feeling close to her deceased father after slipping into a coma. Now, this is the problem with a lot of, and like I said, when I talk to that later, the problem with a lot of Christians and people who still believe in heaven and stuff like that. First thing they think is everything is heaven and hell when they die. So we got to take that as as it comes. So I mean, they can see a field of flowers and say that was heaven. So that's what they do when they pass. Um, because all they know is just the physical aspects of what they was taught. Some scientists claim that they were a dream wake state. So this is just critics. Like I said, when I do research, I like to go into people who said that, hey, all that stuff is false. This is why they doing this. So this is from scientists who disagree with near-death experience, who disagree in saying that these people are not all the way dead, so they still have brain waves, and it's called a dream wake state. So this is just the argument. So I show you that I'm not biased. I'm not a person who's trying to push just one thing on you. A study published in Neurology suggests near-death experience stem from a type of sleep state, wake state. It compares survivors who had near-death experience with those who did not. The researchers found that the people with near-death experiences were more likely to also undergo REM intrusions, states in which sleep intrudes upon wakeful consciousness. People who have near-death experience may have an arsenal system that predisposes them with REM intrusion. Kevin Nelson, professor of University of Kentucky. Because what they're trying to say is when you die, you still have like 10 minutes of brain waves. So they saying this is where it gets to the point where you see family members where you start going back into the past, where you start seeing they call it a dream wake state. It's almost like um even though they can't really prove that. I mean, it's just something that they're saying. It's nothing that they can really, like I said, because this is consciousness is not something they really can really study on because it's not a physical action. It's not something you can't take the conscious and put it on the table or put it in a machine. It's something they have to study through the brain. And once they understand that the conscious outside of the brain, it's going to be a long, long time for they really understand it. All right. Both sleep and death um, and inevitable. They come to the end of the period of work. Sleep and death are where people rest for their labors. Though death and sleep are a time of rest, they are not a session of being. Those who are dead are all as those who are asleep. Look forward to the time when when they will wake. Finally, both the dead and those who are asleep awake to face something new. In the case of the dead, it will be a new glorified body in which to spend eternity. Okay, that's just something that a guy said in the blue. I don't know. I shouldn't put that right there, but all right, let's go. This the argument against what they're trying to say is a dream wake state. I mean, we already seen some of the arguments when they're saying that the consciousness is so mysterious that you can't say the brain is creating the consciousness. The consciousness creates the brain. because the conscious is not a physical thing. It's not something you can take and study. So how would it be inside of the brain where you can't study it? Because if it was inside of the brain, you would understand it because it's being controlled by the brain. Just like you can control the heart, you understand the heart, they understand the lungs, they understand the stomach. They don't understand the conscious, they don't understand the mind. These are things that we bring into the reality that we bring into this reality, but it's not a part of reality because it's not physical. It's like a headache, like we was explaining, just like stuff like that. Things that you can't really test. All right. So this is the argument from again. This is Bruce Grayson, and this is from as a professor, uh, emeritus of psychiatry and neurobehavioral science at the University of Virginia. He is the author of After a Doctor Explores what that near-death experience reveal about life and death. I mean, in life and beyond. The the irreducible mind, and co-editor of the Handbook of Near-Death Experience. Emily Williams Kelly is a researcher of the University of Virginia Division of Perceptual Studies with interest in near-death experience, reincarnation, and other phenomena subjective of survival of conscious after death. Okay, so this is what they say: the conscious without the brain, the mind-brain question is particularly absorbing the Grayson and fellow faculty in the Division of Perceptual Studies. He, Edward F. Kelly, and Emily Williams Kelly co-authored. Oh, let me go to. Emily Kelly writes about F. W. H. Myers, a 19th century psychologist whose work supports the view that the mind is not generated by the brain but is constrained by it. She and Grayson examine how near-death experience and other phenomena contravene in conventional wisdom that the brain has to be functioning properly for conscious to exist. So a lot of people are saying the conscious only exists because of the brain. They're saying the conscious is what controls the brain. The conscious lives outside the brain, and that's why when people pass, they're still they're still consciously aware of things that's happening when they die. Okay, or clinically dead. So they're saying, and that's why I say the subconscious is where the soul lies. The subconscious is where when you leave here, you're still gonna be in a subconscious mind state. A lot of people that say when they die, they say it just feel like they in a subconscious mind state, meaning they don't even feel their body or anything, but they see everything. It's like they looking just from their eyes. Okay, mind and brain modules. I mean models and negative NDE experiences. Current models of the brain of the mind-brain interactions need to be re-examined. Grayson argues even Newton's law of physical breakdowns at the extremes. I think is the same with mind-brain. He says our mind-brain identity model works fine for everybody. I mean, for everyday walking and talking. But when you're looking at times when the brain is not functioning and the mind seems to function quite well, you get into an extreme area where we need to look at some other models. Not all near death experiences are uplifting. However, for some, the initial aspects, sensing death floating out of the body, are terrifying. A few report experiences that confirm to traditional views of hell, fire, brimstone, demons, and tortured souls. One researcher even said that the near death experience are the work of Satan. So uh, it gets to a point where people see a lot of stuff. And that's why I say because they only can explain what they understand in this physical world. When they see the light, they're gonna say it's this. When they see certain things, they're gonna say it's that because they're coming from a religious, most coming from a religious standpoint, and this is things they want to see. Just like when I was talking to the lady, the first thing she said is, "I heard Jesus' voice," and I said, "Well, how you know that was Jesus? If it was one voice. How you know they want God?" Oh, then she tried to say it was two voices because in her perception, she wanted to believe that Jesus is exists when she passed. So when she did went clinically dead, the first voice she heard, she wanted to believe that it was Jesus and not God, because that's what she been taught in this world. Even my brother, something's happened with him, and he said he went to hell. This is what he says. He said he went to a dark place. He said that a voice came and he was uplifting. He was lifting. Jesus lifting. I said, how you know that was Jesus? He said it was God. But see what I'm saying? I'm just saying that people make a perception of trying to make it seem like what they because of what they believe on earth. Um, because people are so scared that when they pass, it might don't be what they think it is. All right, so I just showing people what these people do because I believe in I believe in study. I believe in field work too. So like when I study history, I don't just read books. I don't just go to Google. I go to the sites. I went to all the slave sites. I went to Jamestown. I went to Yorktown. I went to these places and read, see what they digging up, see the stuff they finding, because you need to understand it too. We can't just go with the perception of just books. If you can do it, I'm not saying everybody do it, but I'm just saying I could go to these places, so I did go to these places because I believe in field work. I believe in studies. So this is what he does. He goes to people like hospice, people who died, came back, brought back to life. He sits beside them. He studies them. Say, what did you see? What did you hear? Did you see anything when you died? Did you feel like you was in another place? Did you feel like your body was floating? These are things he asking, and this come from at that time, 2021. He did it with 14 patients, 1,400 patients. So what a hospice physician who interviewed 1,400 patients can tell us about dying. Vision and vivid dreams are end of life experiences that are seldom talked about. They often include reunions with deceased loved ones and can provide dying patients with profound comfort. Okay. Credible stories of near death experience. Peer review written by. So I just wrote this for people that always talk about peer reviews because I know I can get into that stuff. I know that I don't always do it, but I can get to the peer review stuff too. So there's a peer review story of NDE. Okay. So that's just for y'all little agents out there and stuff. Psychiatrist Brian Wells tells the story of the blind elderly woman. She suffered a cardiac arrest during her stay in the hospital where I. Wells was a chairman of the psychiatry department. She was unconscious as for resuscitation team tried to revive her. According to her late report, she floated out of her body and stood near the window watching the resuscitation. Now check this out. She observed without any pain whatsoever as they thumbed on her chest and pumped air into her lungs. During the resuscitation, a pin fell out of her doctor's pocket and rolled near the same window where her out of body spirit was standing and watching. The doctor eventually walked over, picked up a pen, and put it back in his pocket. When he then rejoined the frantic effort to save her, they were succeeded. A few days later, she told her doctor that she had observed the resuscitation team at work during her cardiac arrest. No, he smoothly assured her. You were probably hallucinating because of the anoxia, lack of oxygen to the brain. This can happen when the heart stops beating. But I saw your pen roll over to the window, she replied. Then she described the pen and other details of the resuscitation. The doctor was shocked. Okay? So this doctor telling you is no way possible that you seen this resuscitation. There's no way possible that you could have seen that I dropped this pen and picked it back up. There's no way possible that you could describe this pen because you was not clinically alive. We had to bring you back to life. Your oxygen was leaving your brain so much that you hallucinated. After 10 minutes of losing your brain, you're supposed to go brain dead. So once you start losing it, it can cause damage to the brain to where you start hallucinating. So that's what he's trying to tell her, but she telling him stuff that he know that he cannot scientifically explain, and that's why he's so sharp. Okay. All right. This is me just breaking down the subconscious because a lot of them talk about the conscious, but I say I go deeper into the subconscious. So the subconscious and soul. The subconscious is where the creator lies within you. It's the beginning of you and the subconscious, part of the mind. Now, in technical use, And psychoanalyze where unconscious is preferred. Unconscious mind, imagination, inner self, innermost self, self, inner man, woman, psyche, ego, superego, true being, ancestral nature, and creative powers of the subconscious. Now, this is a lot of things of the subconscious. It records everything, always alert and awake. It controls 90% of our lives. It is built on um, habitational. It speaks to you in dreams. It has no verbal language. It takes everything literally. It can do trillion of things at once. It's not logical. It is not logical. It's the feeling mind. It is 1 million times powerful than the conscious mind. And that's why I'm telling my boy who was on here earlier when he was asking about the conscious. I said I'm going deep into the subconscious because they can't even scientifically explain the conscious yet. So when we go into the deep subconscious, that's why I said they can never make an AI have a subconscious because they can't create the soul, they can't create the spirit, what they call the soul of spirit. Subconscious mind, look at this, 0.5%. Subconscious mind, 95 to 99.5% controls all the systems in the body, intelligent field that created the body from a single fertilized cell, literal and metaphysical. I mean metaphorical, not linear. No distinctive between past, present, and future. Movie, reality, perception, generalization. This is why I said. That's why I had to. This comes from part of my presentation when it is called "The Subconscious Beats with God," and that's why I believe that um, when we talking about people when they say they hear or they talk, is the subconscious. Is something that can't be explained as outside of the brain. I believe the subconscious controls the conscious controls the mind controls the brain controls the body. Okay, and what they do is when they're trying to put stuff like chips and stuff in your brain, they're trying to cut the subconscious off halfway and then have control of your brain because your brain controls your body. Okay, subconscious and the soul. The soul communicates with the subconscious mind through the subconscious. We look at the diagram. We see a barrier which is there between the conscious and subconscious mind. The barrier has some special qualities. It doesn't allow the conscious mind to know what secrets are locked in the subconscious mind. This this shelf is also porous, um, but it only allows one thought to emerge at the time of the subconscious mind. The thought of the emerges in the strongest thought. So impressive from the subconscious mind rapidly hits the conscious mind in quick succession to return to strengthen the century that they arose from. Look what they say. How chanting the name of God works deflection method. Through precise spiritual practice of chanting the name of God, the devotion century becomes firmly established. The firmly established devotion century becomes the strongest thought, prompting one to only righteous deeds. Thoughts from the impression of our mind are not allowed to go through the conscious mind and hence reduce their influence over us. So, being a spiritual person, believing the Most High creates us to be more righteous because we are the subconscious. Once we feed that, the subconscious controls all. Okay, so that's why I say we are. That's where we meet the Most High. We meet the Most High in our subconscious. Our subconscious, we subconsciously move, we subconsciously talk, we subconsciously everything we do is we subconsciously breathe until something affects us to where it can mess up like the connection from the brain to the heart or the brain to the stomach or the lung. That's when it cuts off the subconscious because now it's physically affecting us. You know what I'm saying? So let me see if I got anything. Okay, and it's the last part right here. Is there evidence of resistance outside the body? I say yes. Okay, and I finished with the presentation. It was like 52 slides. Hope y'all enjoyed it. I'm gonna see anybody got anything to say. Racism is righteous. Quite, hold on. Racism isn't righteous. Quite frankly, the opposite. Tools created to the bad gods people use by the most evil people in history. Yeah. I think they took. I think because what happened is they gained control for a lot of our mistakes and a lot of our turning our back on the Most High. Because a lot of them tools, a lot of this technology, a lot of this science comes from us, and we allow other people to take it and take control of it. Hop on the page, David, and let's share stories. Yeah, that's my boy David. I know. Let me see what's way has to do with anything. I have white family members that don't stand for any of their race crap. So who said anything about? Oh, that must be something that's going on in the comments. What's up, deal? You got anything to say? Peace, peace. You there, deal? Oh, you must be doing something. All right, let me read some of these comments. But how do I go up? Okay, yo, when you're done, I want to say something. Okay. Let me see if I can. I ain't gonna stay for so long because I gotta go to work, but I'm gonna put this up. Oh man, hold on, let me see if I can copy from copy. Let me see if I can put it here. All right, I put the link in. And Spencer has saw the light. I felt the move. Oh, here you go. Peace, peace.
Peace. Shalom.
Salam.
Man, look, I ain't finna try to be long, bro.
Yeah,
But
yeah. We good.
I ain't gonna cap with you, bro. I do believe in like the NDE thing and all that shit, right? And
Yeah,
all that. I do believe that. Only reason why I believe that because I actually been through it. I've been through it numerous times.
hmm,
My thing is about this whole scenario is people try to act like they've been through it, and I don't like the fact that these our oppressors can experiment on people, and then they misconstrue their words and things like that. For instance, right, for this grace, for this light thing, right? All
yeah.
right, let's talk about the light. All right, I don't disprove the light. I don't. I've been there. But my thing is when I hear these people talk about, oh well, it was my family members and I heard this and that and it was a great light and I just felt so loved and this, bro. I feel like that's BS. The reason why is because just to be honest, bro, I'm gonna try to. I'm trying to. It's really hard to talk about this shit, bro, without sounding crazy. You feel me?
Nah, we don't sound. It don't sound like crazy, man. Say what you gotta say.
But I'm okay. So, all right. All right. In order for me to explain this, bro, I gotta bring it back. When I was like 19, 20 years old, I was on my deathbed. I had actually did some bullshit, bro. I was on some young nigga stuff. I don't know. I just feel like I ain't belong here, and I try to. In anyway, you know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
yeah, I understand.
You know what I'm saying? I winded up in a hospital, right? Now, this is the thing. When at the moment that things had happened, I know what I saw. I seen the top of the ambulance, not me inside the ambulance. I saw the top of the ambulance going where it was going, right?
Mm-hmm.
And when I woke up, all I remembered, even though there was nobody around me, when I woke up, all I remember was there was a bunch of voices, right? But there was also a solidified voice at the same time, bro. And this is the crazy part that I'm talking about because I've never, all these NDEs and all this stuff that I heard, I've never heard nobody talk about this, but I've heard every scenario that everybody else keep talking about. And it make me feel like niggas be lying, bro, because I heard one solidified voice, but it multiple voices at the same time, bro. And what and when you wake up to what so-called is a light, that's the first thing that you see. It's like people don't understand. There might be, I ain't saying it is, but it might be some type of game that these people play because everybody sees the first light. I mean, everybody sees a light. You know why they see the light? Because when they wake up out of that NDE, the first thing that they see is a light above their head at their hospital bed, bruh. And I'm not saying that the light is not true. But what I'm saying is people try to build off that and try to make it seem like it's something that's not. I've been on multiple of my deathbeds. So I want to know if a person been on their deathbed, when did have you ever had judgment coming to you in a warning as if this could be your final moment, or this is your final moment. These are the things that you could have did. These are the things that you did wrong. You shouldn't have did this. You should have did that. I've never heard nobody speak about that. That's why I feel like a lot of people be lying when they talk about, well, I was on my deathbed and this, because there's no judgment intact. When you really escape death because of the Most High, bro, you sooner or later down the line want to change your ways, bro. And I've never heard that from anybody. It's always some old superstitious crap, bro. I don't like that, bro. And that's why I said in the comments, it is a touchy subject, but the most touchy part about it is we getting people that, like I'm talking about, like the doctors and stuff, they go and interview these people. They don't know how to explain it, bruh. Because if they say something wrong, you won't try to put them in a nutcase, bruh, in a nut house, bruh. And that's just being honest facts, bruh. I done literally been not only just near death experiences, bruh, but deathbeds, bruh, where bruh, but not I said deathbeds. I mean just literal dreams where the dream was like, okay, if I snatch everything from you right now, you have nothing to save you. It's just you and me. And you got to deal with everything that you've done, everything that you should have done, everything that you could have done. And it ain't no escaping this. When are we going, especially you, these people that claim they self in the Torah and stuff, that claim that they got, that they done been on their deathbed, indeed, all this. I ain't never heard not one person that's supposed to be in this sector, bro, that say that that they went through this stuff, even touch the fact that they've had an experience that actually made them change. It's not no change. It's always either some other idolatry or go into, oh, it was a light. And that's all I remember. And I felt all warmy and cozy inside. You a goddamn lie, bro. And I say that, bro, because when people actually go through that stuff, bro, to be honest with you, you cannot explain it to the T, bro. So you ain't gonna tell me you felt love, compassion, you was warm inside, all of that, bro. When you can't even say, "Oh, damn." Also, when that I had to go through an experience of judgment, and if my life was to vanish as it was, what would happen to me, and the things that I should have did, bro. I just don't believe that stuff, bro. And I ain't trying to be cynical or anything, bro, but I'm just being honest, bro. I think a lot of these people that come up with that crap, they be lying, and they just do it for, you know what I'm saying, for help me out with the word. They just do it for
Oh, I mean, yeah, the benefit. I mean, I understand what you're saying.
Yeah, bro. And I'm just being honest, bro. I'm being honest, and I'm talking about, bro. I literally done been through that shit, bro, numerous of times, bro. And I've never not. It ain't been no once it was this and then once it was that. No, bro.
Now,
The oh, go ahead, man. I apologize, bro.
oh no, no, you good. No, I appreciate you put your input in it. But I mean, the latter stuff you are saying is the stuff that they were saying. I guess you kind of like missed certain things, but because when when they were talking about the light, he was saying most people couldn't explain it, but he was like some people were saying that they were trying to explain the feeling, but they couldn't, and that's why I was trying to say that they can't explain the feeling because they only could explain it in a physical form. So when you are talking to like somebody's interviewing you and they want you to know, like just say you interviewing somebody, you say, well, what does it resemble? What does it kind of feel like? And they can't really explain it. So the only thing they can answer is in like a physical way. So they might do say it felt like peace. It felt like look, you see what I'm saying? But it might didn't actually feel like that because they can't really explain nothing that they don't never really experience. You know what I mean? So that's why I said his research is not just like he went to 10, 20 people and they said this. He went to 1,400 people and he got different results of what people are saying. Now that's what I'm saying. That we do have to watch the people that kind of make up stuff. 'Cause, yeah, people do make up stuff. But that's why I was showing like certain incidents when that person was outside the hospital and they said he seen the doctor and the doctor couldn't explain how he knew that this would happen. Um, that's why I was talking about like how they said that because like I said when I talk about the seeing the family members, my mama said she seen her mother and daddy. You see what I'm saying when she went clinically dead. She said she seen her family members. But like I said, I showed the critical side too of them saying that, oh no, that's just a dream wake state. So I show both sides of why people don't believe it, why people say they do believe it. My aspects is not to get people to believe it. My aspects is to show that when people come out here and as atheists, they come out here and say it's no proof that it's something after this. My whole thing it is something after this. Now we can argue of what it is after this, how it goes, and talk to different people that kind of had this clinical death and see what they say. That because it doesn't 100% prove it. You know what I'm saying? So, but what I'm saying is I'm just showing that it is evidence out here that we don't just have to just believe. There's evidence of people that did like you that did clinically die that say they did see stuff. So I've taken it as that's proof to me. That's evidence to me. Some people say that still ain't proof. That's still not evidence. I'm saying it is because they've talked to thousands of people and these people saying, man, there's something after this. It got to be something. It's got to be a consciousness of something that's after this when you pass. Some people say it's heaven. Some people say it's hell. Some people say it's something just after this. Some people say they another dimension. That's not my really argument of what it is after this. My argument is to show that when these people try to come and say there's no evidence of nothing after this, I'm saying you're lying. I'm saying when you say you see that darkness, that is a part of this research to say you some people have seen darkness. But what I'm saying is when somebody we as people when we go through something, we believe that everybody else have to go through this. So when I hear a person atheist say, when I died, I seen darkness, that doesn't mean every person that dies go see darkness. Who are you to say what a person going to see when they leave you? You see what I'm saying? Because we are not God. We are not the Most High. We're not the Creator. We can't determine what a person is going to see when they leave here. Person might see a whole different thing and it might be terrifying for them because of the life they live. We don't know. So my aspect is just I go around the board and look at how what everybody say because I don't want people to just put stuff in the box and say I've seen this and just because I've seen this, if you ain't see it, you lying. So and I get what you saying that a lot of people that is saying they seen the stuff, they didn't change. But I mean, I've seen people like my mother before she died, and when she died the first time, the clinically dead, it changed her. It started making her care about how she lived, how she treated us. Was I a good mother to you? You see what I'm saying? So it does happen. It does happen to where it changes. So I understand. Then you got these people who's doing it for clout, who's doing it to get book deals and get this and get that. You know what I'm saying? So I understand a lot what you're saying that we have to just be careful of what we listen to and who we listen to. But for right now, these people are the only people who's researching it. When we get other people that start wanting to research it, that's cool. But this is like a new study because the main science is just saying, you know what, the conscious is inside the brain. When you die, you just go in the grave, and ain't nothing after that. This is what the science. This is what the main science says. So but these scientists are trying to say no. It is something after this, and we got proof and evidence of it. So this is the argument that's going on with this, and we're going to get more and more people to start studying this, but I'm just because I'm trying to bring it out. So I want more people to get into these studies and bring this stuff out. So that's all I can. Oh, this guy have a car right here. Peace,
But see,
peace.
this thing about all that though. I do believe. I'm not saying that I don't believe because I didn't experience a lot of I didn't experience. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying? But what I'm saying is the the people that are experimenting on people that's having these so-called, you know what I'm saying, NDEs and stuff, they are people that, first of all, they are oppressive for the most part. They the ones that got all the degrees and everything. So they can by any means, you know what I'm saying, put a whole narrative on it. But what I'm saying, but for the most part, what's really important to me is if people have been through it, it shouldn't be well, I need you to tell me what happened to you in this because I'm telling you, bro, this, just from my experience, I don't see how can you explain what you've seen when it's something that you can't explain. You're talking about the physical world and then the spiritual world, and you ain't even leave the spiritual world. The silver cord, which is in Job, has not been detached from you. You just going through the motions of. See, I personally think NDEs are a warning from the Most High, and people don't get it, bro. That's what I really think it is. And the reason why I say that is because just being really simple, when people try to when people go through those things, they are in a state of shock because they can't understand, like, was I dreaming or not? You know what I'm saying? That's when we get into dreams and stuff because you're like, I don't know if it was like a dream because what they say, sleep is the cousin of death or whatever
yeah.
people.
It's really his brother, but yeah, it's a cousin. People say the cousin.
Yes. So you don't know, but one thing I just one thing that really hits me is everybody has this one thing in common. What most of people, and that's, oh, a light. And I can't say that I haven't been there,
Mm.
but what I think is the people that experiment on the people that have been through it, they use that because okay, if you've been on a near death experience and you woke up in the hospital, the first thing that you see, it's not the people around you, it's a big ass light in front of your face.
Yeah. All right. Now, did you? Now, I agree with you. I understand what you're saying because that's what some of the scientists said. But did you understand that when they were speaking, that they said they specifically said it wasn't a light bulb, it wasn't a sunlight, it wasn't nothing like that. So they was explaining that it wasn't that what the people were trying to say that when they woke up it was just a light bulb. It was they couldn't, and that's what I'm trying to say. What they were saying is they really couldn't explain it, but
But yeah,
they tried to explain it to a content. So that's why I'm saying I agree that when a doctor is trying to explain it to us, it's not 100% of what they really seen, but it's just some. But see, but see, I think it's see we got to go into science. Science is like you got to start from the blueprint. The blueprint is first. Is it something after this? See that's what the goal is. And I mean, and I understand sometimes, we get into the Israel. We disagree because I don't. I mean, I don't agree that everybody, every white person not oppressed. I just don't agree with that because I know white people that's not our oppressor. So I understand some people have that belief in that. So anything that comes from them, you might don't agree with. I understand that. But what I'm saying is the aspect of me studying them is showing that the first is something after this. See, that's why I said then you can then later, then later we can start getting into what people seen after this, what people done after this. But my aspect is to have evidence and show this whole presentation was just showing is it something after this. So I don't want to get into the point of me trying to say this is what you seen after this, or this is, or I believe these people or that people. My aspect is just to show that it is something after this. So when an atheist come to me, or a person who believe in the Bible, or a person who try to say you just die, you don't go nowhere, and it ain't no evidence or nothing, I'm saying is a lie. I'm saying that it is something after this. Now, I'm not specifically pointing to say you go see a light, you go see relatives, you go see this, because I haven't ever died. I'm going by what the studies they say and people like you say. So I just taking y'all word from what was after that. But my stuff is my first level of education on this is it proof of something after this? That's what I'm really trying to push, that it is evidence that it is something when your heart stops, that people have seen and said that they actually had out of body experiences. Some people even goes deeper to reincarnation, and they have stories of that happening. So, but I agree with everything you saying, and I'm glad you shared it because that's why I speak on it. So people that had these type of experience, they could speak on it too. But I now, but we had to be careful just to say that all is not true because you went through it and they didn't. This might be something special that the Most High did for you. You know what I'm saying? You might be a special person to the Most High. They might have did something for you. So don't take it as that it's something normal that everybody supposed to go through. It's something that you might have had to face. Cause look what you've been through and look where you at now. And that's how I always look at stuff like my life. I ain't supposed to be in the condition that I am now, the education I got, the way I know how to read and understand stuff. Because I believe the Most High did this. Period. You see what I'm saying? So don't never take that as just something that everybody else supposed to go through. This might be something that the Most High did for you specifically to get you to understand and get you to the path that you at right now. So I
Yeah.
mean, so I agree with you saying, and that's why I say we have to still be careful with anybody that say anything. Because like I said, I've talked to people that say they died. When I talk to them, I'm like, man, I don't believe what you're saying, but I can't specifically say they lying. But it just I could you writing books out of it and you making videos and you going on YouTube and you getting paid for it. That's what makes people start kind of like backing off. It's like, whoa, wait a minute. You know what I'm saying? Because I could tell you've been through it because how personal it is to you, how serious you are with it. You know what I'm saying? And that's why I like for you to come on when people come on here that's dealing with it. Because I talked to my brother who been through it. I talked to my mama who did it. I'm one of the people who believe in talking with people. I'm no, like my boy was asking me, well, what about a blind person? You said this and this. I said, well, you know what? Next time I sit down with blind people, I'm gonna ask them. I'm gonna ask them, do y'all dream? Do y'all have images in y'all head? Because that's something I want to know. So that's a study that I can go do. You know what I'm saying? So Ricardo, did you want to say something?
Oh yeah, man, Shalom. I really was just listening, but like with the little experience I have with dealing with it, I can't really say that a person ain't had a dream or they didn't experience stuff like that because you know I have experienced certain things, some things that we'll talk about, and like Smash said, if I tell you exactly what I experienced, you'll think I'm crazy.
Yeah,
But
I mean, I wouldn't think
you
nobody's crazy because
oh yes, you would. I could tell you some stuff. I promise you.
yeah,
But
trust me, I'm not a person like I said, I'm a researcher and a study. I don't take stuff as because I respect y'all intelligence and I know y'all not gonna just say stuff that y'all just gonna make up stuff. You know what I mean? I don't believe that.
that's true. Yeah, but at the end of the day, I do believe, what I'm saying, we all experience different things. Like I said, depending on the state of the mind, where you at. Basically, if you following that idol, or what I'm saying, you following the Most High. So I do believe that we all see things and experience different things. But I say this, no matter what you experience, make sure it's rooted and founded in the law. Because if it ain't, then most likely it's an illusion.
Yeah,
You know. So
yeah,
that's not to say that nobody never seen anything or experienced nothing though. But, you
yeah.
know,
That's why when you see when I do this study on science, the first thing I do I compare it to the biblical stuff. You know what I'm saying? So we can under because I want people to understand that the biblical is not just a belief book. The biblical is a science book. It has history in it, and it has the other stuff we've been talking about in it. The Bible is the greatest book ever created when you understand it, and that's what I'm trying to get people to understand. I've showed people periods is in the Bible. When people catch STDs is in the Bible. It's stuff that's in the Bible. How oxygen is in the Bible. How it's talking about creating oxygen from the water and the
Right.
trees. All this stuff is in the Bible when you understand it to that profession. But when you just believe in it, you miss a lot of the real important message of the Bible teaches. You just start, and that's why people starting to argue over: is Adam Eve real? Is the snake talk? Do the donkey talk? Is the dragon talk about different? All this stuff that does not have nothing to do with why our ancestors created this book. I mean, these the way they created these manuscripts and stuff. They didn't create it for you to argue over that. It was lessons in it, it's science in it, it's history in it, it's mythology in it, it's metaphors in it, is that's why I'm saying it's other people's history that don't even have their history in it. You see what I'm saying? Like they found this Bible created damn near created archaeology. You see what I'm saying? These people thought a lot of these places didn't exist until they dug them up and found them because of the Bible, because of trying to prove the Bible wrong or right. So that's why I'm trying to get people. I'm not gonna say Bible because we know understand the translation of it, but you know what I mean. Our people, you know
Right.
what I'm saying. We got to understand that once we read these things in the right way, this is the greatest knowledge ever. And
Mhm.
the reason these atheists are beating up on a lot of these religious people is because they just believe and they can't explain nothing. They don't research nothing.
Right.
They don't study nothing. They don't break down nothing. And that's the problem with a lot of our people.
I
And
hey
and then,
I oh can I, let me say something real quick before I forget, Smash. I get exactly what you mean. I promise I proceed because saying you say scientific aspect of the Bible, and at first I was one of the type of people like say, hey, F science, man, science is, saying a
Yeah.
different kind of work. But once I started saying doing a deeper research and study into what science actually was before we called it science, and then I started finding other different sources, that books that say that, hey, before there was science, it was basically saying that basically the study and observation of nature and life science,
Exactly.
basically the things around us. So when I understood that, I did a deeper dive, and I stumbled upon another book, and this book tells me that, hey, science is basically the natural studies of what we see. You know what I'm saying? So I know
Yeah.
exactly what you're talking about. They and what I'm coming from the aspect side of, back then they called them, magi. This is what a lot of people like to say. Oh, I'm a magi, priest or whatever they
Exactly.
like to say. But I understand it. I perceive it, but everybody don't. So I get it.
and I'm not. Of course, I'm not saying like I don't believe. You know what I'm saying? There ain't nothing after this. Well, I'm definitely not saying that. I'm just saying like according to we got two different passages of scripture that give us insight of two different things. You got Ecclesiastes 9 and 5 to say one thing, and then you got another. I forgot the other one in Ecclesiastes or in Job that said nothing. So I'm not saying that, but only thing that I'm saying is like when people come in and they say they seen a light, right? Okay, I seen a light too. All right, so we know that's a comparisons. All right, cool. But then when they get to going off the Richter scale and trying to say they seen they family members and they seen the dead, that's like necromancy and stuff like that. And it's like so because somebody had a PhD or whatever it is that it need that's supposed to have in order to talk to these people that have these NDEs and stuff, they say these things and then you go and put it on an article and now people believe the stuff. And
Right.
all I'm saying is the experience that I've had or the experiences that I've had, bro, only a few things line up with what other people be saying. The other things just be like, come on, bro, that don't even go. That ain't even per scripture. You know what I'm saying? Well, I seen Jesus but I seen the light. And I seen everything that the Old Testament people seen, but then I seen Jesus. So now Jesus is real because I had an NDE. Boom, put it on the Google and slap it out there. You know what I'm saying? And it's like people, that's what I feel like people would be like trying to mock it. Go ahead, Vicar.
Well, that's why on a couple of my slides, right, when I try to get you to explain, when I try to explain the seeing the friend thing, if you go to one of my slides that I showed about them seeing the family members, like I said, my mama seen it. But when they show it, with the person who studied it is not saying that these people seen it or they believe that they seen it. They're saying that they believe this is a comfort a comfort mechanism, meaning it's something that they imagine or seen to help them comfortable in the knowing that they're going to die. It made them more comfortable to say, "I see my family members." So it's like something that is like it's like a defense mechanism of their body to say you dying, so I'm gonna make it comfortable for you to die. So I'm gonna show you good images. I'm gonna show you about your past. I'm gonna show you good things so when you comfortable dying. So that's what he was saying about the seeing the friend thing. It wasn't like they were saying I died to see the friends and came back. It was more like uh she was explaining that it was a comfortability thing that a lot of people create before they die, or their mind creates for them for so they could comfortably go. So it was showing, it was saying something like that. So I don't want you to think it was saying like they died and seen family members. So that's not what that person was saying when they did the studies. You know what I'm saying? And and yeah, and that's why I was saying, and that's why a lot of people get mad when I say this. I don't believe, and I believe it any time. I don't believe that you have to take everything biblically and say that if they didn't say it, it ain't true. Because it's the same thing as they are saying something about afterlife that we just have to take and say, well, this is how the afterlife is because they said this. And that's the thing when somebody else in the comment was saying that they were saying, well, everybody just going to go to Sha'ar. I'm just saying that's something you believe. That's a fact. That's something we believe that we understand. We're going by the scripture. We believe this. We believe just like I believe it's something after this. So I wanted to see was there something after this. That's why I say I don't argue with people to the point where we're going after this or what happens or what you see. I'm just going to the point, like I said again, that is it something after this? Is it evidence after this? So a lot of stuff I'm saying and a lot of stuff you're saying, they're saying the same thing. I just think you miss some of the stuff they were saying because they were not like the relative thing. They're not saying that they seen this after death. So I agree with you on that. They're not pushing that. Oh, I died and seen a family member. They are saying, and that when you go to that hospice part, when I say that she was studying the hospice people, she was saying she believes that it was a comfortability thing that their mind created so that they can deal with the knowing that they was going to die. It's just like I tell people sometimes. My mama called autism. Some people say that was a curse, but I say it was a gift because the things she was, the sickness she had, the stuff that she was going through. If she was in her right mind, she would have been in so much pain. But she probably ain't even. She probably forgot she was in pain. She probably didn't realize that. You see what I'm saying? So I think that some of these things that that the man can actually defend itself and to going into this pain and stuff like that. So it's a lot of stuff that they said they seen. Now the light thing, like they said that they couldn't. And again, when you read the first part, of what I said, they didn't say they specifically said that most people could not explain it, but they understood it. It was not a bulb or it was not sunlight because they understand that most critics are saying, "Hey man, they some of them are saying the same thing you saying, man. They just seen a bulb when they woke up." And they saying no. So that's just an argument that these people are having, you know what I'm saying? But everybody, but I'm a person. I don't think we're deep enough into that to me to argue with that because this is like this study is so new. It's not something that they're saying that this is exactly how it goes. They're saying that they're getting tired of scientists saying that there's nothing after this. They're getting tired of scientists saying your conscience is inside your mind. They're getting tired of saying that when you die, you're just going to the grave. Because these people wants to believe that there's something after this too. They might be Christians, they might be believe in the Bible, they might believe after death. So they want to prove that they want to have proof or have studies that it's something after this, just like we want to. You see what I'm saying? So I'm not. So I just think maybe if you go back and what you watch, you go see that a lot of stuff you saying they actually saying, because
Now, see,
I don't want you to think that they saying it's like a fact, or half of these people saying they died to seeing this, because a lot of stuff is not what they were saying it like that.
now I wasn't saying like, oh, it ain't true. The light ain't true. They just seeing a bulb. I'm not saying that. Only thing I was saying on that aspect was like being impelling to how our oppressor is. Like they could use that. They could use that, and then the first thing that we see when you're on your deathbed and you wake up, the first thing, because you're on your back, the first thing you see is a bright ass light in front
Yeah,
of your face. That's, you know what I'm saying? So that could be a conspiracy. Now, I'm not saying that that is factual. What I am saying though is I do remember each time I've been on my deathbed, I do remember specifically light. I do remember that, right? But
yeah,
this is the thing that where where things start to be, be kind of weird to me when it come to people, because they say they remember, and it was this and it was that and it was this and it was that and all of these things, and they experience all of these things, you know what I mean, when every time I've been on my bed, only thing I've ever heard was like, I don't want to say praying, like people praying, you know what I'm saying, but that's basically what it seemed like it was, with a light as well. And it's just kind of funny to me how I've never heard any I've never heard, no testimonies, quote unquote, with people like saying like, it was not only was it light, but it was, I was hearing, voices or whatever praying for me and things of that nature. And then they woke up and they're like, but the biggest part is like, what is, okay, here we go. Ecclesiastes 1:11, right? It says, there is no remembrance of former things, neither shall there be remembrance of things that are to come with those that shall come after. But then you'll have people with these uh near death experiences talking about, well, I seen this in the future, I seen this in the past, I seen all of this, but that's not what the scriptures say. And I'm just going on to the scripture, and it said there's no remembrance of former things. Now a person can say, well, that's not true. We can't believe what's in the scriptures all the time. But all I'm saying is, if it's there, and nobody and everybody that I've heard about, messing around that and had these NDEs, they seem to have some type of remembrance of the former things and things of the past or things of the future, and you know what I'm saying, and all of this stuff. And I just feel like sometimes that should be false, bro.
I mean, see, and
And
that's why, and that's why I was saying that. That's why I said people got to get a lot mad at me when I talk about that. But I'm saying I just got to tell people, like, we got to understand too that these people were thousand years ago, right? And I'm saying that we talk to one, we hear one people say something, we say, oh, we don't believe it. Then we say, oh, because this person said something, we believe it. Now that's why when I did the firmament thing, I was getting people to understand. Okay, they talk about this firmament. People say it was a solid dome, but what if it's not a solid dome? What if just at this time they just thought at this time this they thought this what this was? You see what I'm saying? So I'm saying that I'm not saying that it's not real or it's not true what they saying, but I'm saying I take it as I take anything else, because I'm not saying, I mean, until I have it happen to me or we die, I don't. I think that's when we really gonna know. But when somebody just because of somebody in scripture says that this person said we ain't gonna remember stuff, me personally, I ain't saying nobody else should. I can't just take that as to, because I don't even know that person died. I don't know what that person did. and I just can't take something from people because we tend to take it as a belief to say because these people said it and it was biblically said that it has to be. Cause I don't look at the Bible as a religious form. That's I think that's what the difference is
I
between me and
don't
a lot of
either.
people.
I don't want
I
you to
look at it as a
think either.
cultural form. So
Yo,
when
hold on. I
like
don't want you to think I look at it as that either, because I don't, bro. I look at it just literal context through the Torah.
yeah. Like, cause I don't believe like Job. I believe that's a whole mythical story. I don't believe Job is like me personally. I don't believe Job is a whole real story. I believe Job is a metaphor of a lot of stuff and mythology of a lot of stories because there's a lot of stuff in there that it's just a lesson to me. Like him getting sick and the whole story with Satan and God. That's to me that's a lesson, you know. And I don't take that as a literal thing. So when Job talks about afterlife, I don't take it as somebody else would take it, like it's a prophet or a person saying it that the Most High gave the wisdom to. So I'm just saying it's a collective what people want to believe, you know, what I mean, or what the people want to coming from. But I'm just saying we got to be kind of open minded too. That's all I'm saying. It doesn't mean that we got to throw away the Bible, say the Bible ain't false. But when I look at stuff as a cultural aspect, everybody in ancient times were not 100% right on everything. We can say, oh, Mesopotamia was wrong on this. We could say Egypt was wrong on this. We could say this was wrong on this. But when we get into Israel, we get into the Bible, we want to kind of start believing like, oh, no, they were never wrong. You see what I'm saying? Or they didn't, they was right on everything. And I'm saying it's not because of them. I'm saying it's because of we take a lot of stuff literal that ain't literal. I don't believe nobody died and went to afterlife and then came back. Like I'm talking about physically died, brain and heart. So when they talking about afterlife, I have to take it of is that a vision? Is that just something that they seen that was in a trance? You see what I'm saying? Because that's no different than to me than Enoch, than than the guy that made Revelation. You see what I'm saying? Like if these people ain't brain dead and died heart wise and physically left their body and then came back and say, hey, this is what I seen when I died, then I just can't take it for that and say that they know exactly what the afterlife is. So that's why I'm saying that we have to just be open minded with. And like I said, I don't believe everything the doctors say. I don't believe everything the people that say they died. That I'm just researching and trying to get a more understanding of how because it's Israelites out here like Yasha. He'll tell you, look, Israelites didn't believe in none of that stuff. He'll tell you Israelites believe you died, you went to the grave. Then you got Israelites that believe that Sha'el, where you go to a place and then they separate you. Then you got people that believe in hell. Then you can see is because through culture they start believing in different things. If you're going back into ancient Israel, they believe you just went to the grave. They didn't believe in no afterlife. They didn't believe in going to the place. Sha'el came later on. You see what I'm saying? Then when Judaism came, they started making up a hell. Then you got the Hades, because Hades is still a representation, it's a copy of hell. I mean, a copy of Sheol. The hell is just a watered down version of Hades and Sheol. So it's like we have to understand that if we gonna go back into what our ancestors said, then we should not. None of us should believe in the afterlife because they didn't. The first ancestors they didn't believe in that stuff. They believed we went to the grave. I can show you scriptures where he said we ain't no greater than animals. That we just go, we just died. We ain't going nowhere. And I personally don't
But
believe that.
but see, that's the thing though. That's where it's confliction at, because you know the scriptures. Okay, where it's the book of Job, where of course you don't believe, where you already stated you don't believe in.
Now,
It
I ain't saying
says,
believing. I just said I just don't think it's a. I don't think it's supposed to be a literal story as far as like this is exactly what happened. You know what I mean?
right.
I think it's
So
mythology.
like in the book of Job, it tells you that we just we just gone, right?
Yeah.
And I mean, to be honest with you, I I kind of I believe that in a way, but I only believe that for people that might not, believe in the Most High. Why do I say that? Because it's been times where I was just in a dark state of mind, didn't know nothing about the Most High, and I could go to sleep, not have dreams, nothing. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And There's been times where I've been at a high state of mind and I'm fully connected, or I feel like I'm fully connected with the Most High, and I go have dreams, and I have all type of ambient dreams. So, uh, ambient ain't a word because that basically means sleep. You know what I'm saying.
Yeah, yeah, I understand.
But my biggest thing is, regardless of whether we live in another life or not, I mean, that's that actually, I mean, to be me honest, I don't feel like that's gonna get us any salvation anyway.
Oh, you talking about like reincarnation stuff?
But whatever it is, I mean,
Yeah,
even if you feel like once you die and you once you die, you go into another life. If you say you don't believe in reincarnation, I don't see how you don't believe in reincarnation if it's you basically believe, you know, once you die, you go into another life. That's reincarnation
yeah,
to
yeah,
me.
yeah.
But in the other sense though, once again, it's really just about the people that haven't been through almost meeting or whatever, meeting the most high or meeting their final death. Those are the people that are doing the studies, and then they're getting people that are kind of distraught in what has really happened, because I can honestly tell you, when you come to, when you come to your senses, you know what I'm saying, from whatever you going through in this, and if you experience that a near death or anything, you're discombobulated. You don't know what's going on. You're literally trying to figure out what's going on between what just happened right now, these people that are in this room right now, and the shit that I just went through, and y'all wasn't there, even though I was feeling or hearing or whatever, you know what I'm saying,
Yeah.
whatever I was experiencing. And then we go back, and then there's people that have their stories, and then here we are to this day, you know what I'm saying, to this very day. I don't It's kind of weird how people like get this concept like, um once you die, what happens is the first thing that happened is a light. But it's okay, I understand, you know, Job might be a like some type of other book, but don't Job talk about, or no, is Ecclesiastes is talk about before the silver lining cuts and all this. Nobody talked about the silver lining, the silver cord, which is an actual spiritual thing that is connected to you. But of course, nobody know that, because you know they that's kind of new age to them, but that's actual a real thing. The silver lining, the silver cord, that is something that actually is a part of you. And once you disintegrate as a human being and your spirit is going back to the most high, that's something that you have to deal with. You know what I mean? So I'm kind of conflicted when it comes to like people trying to say uh their own take when it just don't line up with, like, I'm a person that been through it, and a lot of stuff that people say, which go viral, of course, that shit, it just doesn't line up with what they experience. I'm not saying, oh, you ain't go through what I went through, so you lying. I'm not saying that. It's just everybody else got something, but I'm a real person that went through it, a real life person. I ain't gonna make no money, ain't gonna go viral or nothing. And the shit that they say, I ain't went through it, bro. But
And I mean that was say that's what I said. I like it when people you come up here and talk, but from me as an aspect, I don't like my study. It just didn't come from what they said. Like I said, I talked to my mama when she was clinically dead. I talked to my brother when that happened to him. I talked to other people, like because I said I research. I go around people and talk to them about it, and everybody gave me different answers. Everybody gave me they couldn't like you said they couldn't really explain it, but it wasn't the same aspect. Everybody didn't go through the same experience, and I'm saying it, and I believe what Vikas say more of as it matters what life. I think it matters how your life was. I think that also matters too. Like you said, I still go through the biblical terms that if you ain't living righteous, And if you is living righteous, it could have if that may could affect when you do actually go clinically dead. Then I do understand that people doing it for clout, but I'm not. That's why I say I believe in field work too. I believe going into realm like when I talk about molestation, when I talk about this mental health thing that's coming up, my sis does that. She got like degrees in this stuff. You know what I'm saying? She go deal with them. I go sit down with people who've been molested. I go sit down with people who've been raped. I go sit down and ask to see how the what the trauma happens to them. So I don't just go into books and try to go into Google and say this is what they say. I go myself and see what other people says. So I understand where you coming from. You know what I'm saying? And like I said, that's your experience, but it is people that have similar experiences to what I read that I know as far as family members that was close people to me that have seen stuff. You know what I'm saying? That have seen these things of when they did or when they did was considered clinically dead. So I'm just saying that you know, but my like I said, my thing ain't really about like what where you at when you actually was clinically dead. My thing is that just because I'm going to the first stage of study, is it something that shows that it's something after this first? You know what I mean? I'm not jumping to was it Sheol? Was it hell? Was it a heaven? Was it this place? But I'm not really going to that far. I'm going to is it a place after this? That's the far I really go into it first because that's how I really study supposed to go. You're supposed to go level. You know what I'm saying? You kind of different because you experience it, so you're gonna have a different experience on it. I don't, so I can just go to the levels of you let me know that yes, it is something after this, and that's what I everything you taking. That's where I take it from, because that's what I want to know. I just want to know something after this. When we go after this, and then something happened, and that's fine with me. But I don't want to believe that I just die and go to the grave. That's my main fear. My fear is dying and just not existing no more. Like people try to say that, and I don't believe that exists. So that's why I'm grateful when you come out and say stuff like that because I don't want you to think that I'm getting offended nothing you say. It's actually helping me because it's acknowledging to me the main thing of everything you saying that your experience and you are still saying yes there's something after this. You know what I'm saying? And that's what makes me happy. You know what I mean? Um, I ain't gonna be on it too much longer, but I'm gonna let great 202 talk, and then we gonna go around the panel let everybody talk because I got to wake up like 6 in the morning, so I ain't.
Shalom,
But
everyone.
when this mental health thing come up, I want all y'all to come on the panel too for because I want to have this big because I'm gonna I'm gonna do a little bit of presentation, but I want y'all to come up and we speak on this mental health thing that's going on too. So I'm making that an open panel for everybody. You can go on great tour to my bad.
Oh no, 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 you're okay. No, I was, this is an interesting topic concerning near-death experiences. I believe, well, as I understand it, like people who have like good near, good or bad experiences when it comes to near-death experiences, it's more than likely probably the mind going through extreme conditions and is trying to grasp the concept of reality before they actually die. Because according to scripture, like, what do you guys think about the book of Samuel? And Samuel was conjured up by the lady, the witch, and he came up out of the earth. What are your thoughts on that scripture? Because I know
Uh,
most people, most Christians will say that when you die, you either go to heaven or hell. But
uh-huh.
there's many of the scriptures that talks about that the place. Let me get the scripture here.
Hey, my thoughts on that. I
I was
don't think that was Samuel. I think that was some type of foul spirit, or he was like Eerie say, some type of
Oh,
mythological
oh,
story. Yeah,
oh, okay.
ain't no way you finna conjure up a holy prophet like that. Nah.
Yeah, because well, that scripture said it was Samuel. You think if it was a demon or some type of evil spirit, wouldn't it say an evil spirit or
Now
something demonic?
what you were saying that the verse what did the verse say again?
Let me pull it up here. Um, all right, I'll read the
I can share
scripture.
my
So,
screen if you
oh,
want.
okay.
Oh, all right.
It was the witch of Endor.
Yeah, so First Samuel chapter 28, verse 11. I can go
Oh,
ahead
that's
and read it if
second.
you want me to.
I think that's second Samuel. Yeah, first.
Oh, no, it's First Samuel.
Okay.
First Samuel. I thought
No,
it was
yeah,
Second Samuel too. I
yeah.
was just
First,
reading
First
Samuel
Samuel.
today. First Samuel.
Yeah,
All right, chapter what?
chapter 28 and start at verse 11. It, I can go ahead and read it. So we'll start at verse 10. It says, and Saul swore to her by the Lord, saying, as the Lord liveth, there shall no punishment happen to thee for this thing. Then said the woman, whom shall I bring up unto thee? And he said, bring me up Samuel. And when the woman saw Samuel, see right there, it says that the woman saw Samuel, is that she cried with a loud voice, and the woman spake to Saul, saying, why hast thou deceived me? For thou art Saul. And the king said unto her, be not afraid, for what sawest thou? And the woman said unto Saul, I saw gods ascending out of the earth. So according to the scripture, it seems like whatever's a spirit or any type of spiritual deity, it looks like they're coming from out of the earth. So I'll continue reading. It says, verse 14, and he said unto her, what form is he of? And she said, an old man cometh up, and he is covered with a mantle. And Saul perceived that it was Samuel, and he stooped with his face to the ground and bowed himself. And Samuel said to Saul, so the scripture is saying Samuel, and this, why hast thou disquieted me to bring me up? And Saul answered, I am sore distressed, for the Philistines make war against me, and God is departed from me, and answereth me no more, neither by prophets nor by dreams. Therefore I have called thee, that thou mayest make known unto me what shall I do. Then said Samuel, wherefore then thou ask of me, seeing the Lord is departed from thee, and has become thy enemy, and the Lord hath done to him as he spake by me. For the Lord hath rent the kingdom out of thy hand, and given it unto your neighbor, even to David. So just reading that scripture, what do you guys think about that passage there? Because there's a few other passages where it talks about, even in first I believe that's Isaiah 14, where it talks about the king of Babylon when he was killed, and he went into hell, well, in the Hebrew called Sheol, and all the kings of the earth was down there saying, have you become weak like us? Have you, basically fallen during battle? So when I look at that passage, where I'll just bring it up real quick. Because I'm just trying to quote it by memory. Let me get to it here. Isaiah 14. Isaiah 14, and it is verse, let's see. Okay, so here we go. Isaiah chapter 14, verse 4. It says, that thou shalt take up this proverb against the king of Babylon, and say, how have the oppressor ceased, the golden city ceased? The Lord hath broken the staff of the wicked, and the scepter of the rulers. He who smote the people in wrath with a continued stroke, he that ruled the nations in anger, is persecuted, and none hindereth. The whole earth is at rest, and is quiet, and break forth into singing. Yeah, the fir trees rejoice at thee, and the cedars of Lebanon, saying, since thou art laid down, no feller is come up against us. Hell from beneath is moved for thee. So when you look at the word hell, it says Sheol, and when you look in the concordance, it says the place for the dead. And it says, I'll read that verse again. It says, hell from beneath is moved for thee to meet thee at thy coming. It stirreth up the dead for thee, even all the chief ones of the earth. It have raised up from thy thrones all the kings of the nations. All they shall speak and say unto thee, art thou also become weak as we? Art thou become like us? Thy pomp is brought down to the grave, and thy noise of thy vials. The worm is spread under thee, and the worms cover thee. So, when you read First Samuel, Samuel coming out of the earth, and then we see here in this passage, the king of Babylon going in the earth.
Hold
And
on,
so it just
stay on
said,
Isaiah. Go back to Isaiah 14.
okay,
Now I'm trying to smash. All right, go down. Hold on, go to the verses. All right, go down to like I think 16. All
oh
right,
yeah, that's
so
a powerful verse right there. Yeah, they
yeah,
that
see,
see thee
and
shall narrowly look upon thee and consider thee, saying, "Is this the man that made the earth to tremble, that did shake the kingdoms?" So it seemed like there's more people down there with him saying, "Is this the guy that actually ruled the earth that no one could take
well, see,
over?"
well, let me explain that. See, I go to 14, right? Now this is not. Now this is what I'm talking about. Where I'm saying that we got to understand when mythology and metaphors and stuff coming in. And see, we taking this stuff literal. But if you go to 14, it's telling you is a king, right? Is a king in a kingdom. And he says, I will ascend in the heights of the clouds and I will be like the most high. So we know that ain't no dead person. We know ain't no person that's in Sheol. So this verse right here talk about how he's going to be equal to the most high, meaning in worship, right? Then you go to 15, it says, Ye shall be brought down into hell, to the sides of the pit. Now, this is a metaphor. It's not talking about going to hell. You know what I'm saying? It's talking about his kingdom falling and bringing and being brung down into a state of brokenness. Now, when you
You
go
know
to
what?
four,
I'll say I
ho-
have to disagree with that, man. The
hold
reason
on,
why I say
let me
that,
hold on. Let me go to 16. Let me finish first. All right, we go to
okay,
16. It says, They shall see and shall nearly look upon thee and say, Consider, saying, Is this the man that made the earth tremble, that did shake the kingdoms, that made the world as a wilderness and destroyed the cities thereof, that opened the house of the prisoners, and all the kings of the nation, even all of them lie in their glory, every one of his own house, but thou art cast out of the grave like a abandonment branch, and as a remnant of those are slain, thus throw a sword that go down into the stones of the pit and of the carcass of under the feet. Now, I mean, I got a whole thing of this talk about because that's where a lot of people get this Lucifer thing too. That's because that's why I went into this verse because a lot of people would act like this is Lucifer that tried to go to heaven and got knocked down. So it's different. That's what I'm saying. There's different aspects of this verse that people are just taking too literal. And I'm saying this is talking about the king of Babylon. You know what I mean? It is no when you go into Babylonian history, it is no talking about a king who went to hell and went to the ground and went to died and came back out to went into hell. That is nothing that doesn't fit with any of Babylonian history either when you go
well,
into that.
I
That's
mean,
what I'm saying.
well, I'll say this. I don't think that will be in the Babylonian history because he actually never died and came back and told his story. According to this passage, she's down there, like to this day. And the reason why I say that because there's a lot of passages that talks about, and it can't be metaphorical because like throughout the whole scripture, the OT basically, it talks about that there's a holding place in the earth, the lowest part of the earth that holds soul, both righteous and the wicked. I want to show you just two more scriptures. If you go to
Now
Ezekiel,
hold on, because hold on, I want to reply to that because you said that he was this verse is talking about he was just stuck in Sheol, right?
yeah,
Okay, but I just showed you in six from 14 to 16 is talk about how he's going to be up. So how would he raise it to the most high? How would he be praised to the most high? Then how did the people see him fall from his kingdom, from how high he was down into the ground and say this is the man? See, that's what I'm saying because that doesn't add up to you saying he's stuck in Sheol. This not saying he's stuck in Sheol. This is saying I will ascend in the heights of the cloud. This is a king. This is I'm talking
what
about
verse are you
14,
getting that
14.
from?
This is 14, 14. I will ascend above the heights of the clouds. I will be like the
14,
most
14
high.
is something
Yeah,
different.
so this
So
is okay. So when you look at verse 14, so when you start at the very first verse and you go all the way to 14, it's talking about before his destruction. Because the pride in his heart that he'll become like the most high. Because there's even a passage in Daniel where it talks about the little horn and how he puffed himself up to be like God, and that he was able to cast down the stars of heaven. And we know literally he didn't do that. We know it was
Yeah.
because of his pride, because he was so powerful at the time, no one could take him down. So reading that verse 14, that's basically what's happening right now before his destruction. When you continue to read after verses 14, it talks about how he was taken down, how he became like all the other nations. Every kingdom that puffed themselves up and ruled for a time eventually get brought down by the Most High. I mean, like I said, there's a lot of passages that show this, man. Like I said, Ezekiel
I mean,
30, Ezekiel
I,
26.
I mean, I understand what you're saying. I mean, Ezekiel has a lot of mythology in it too, but I'm just saying that this is not. I mean, I'm just saying when you go into them verses, that is not talking about a man that went into hell. I mean, that's talking about a
Well,
man
it's
who
talking about
failed.
his death, his
I got
destruction, that went
Yes,
to
comment.
and
that.
it's talking about a people who seen him as more than just a man because of things he was doing, and when his kingdom failed, they looked at him and said, "Damn, he wasn't what I thought he was." That's basically what they're saying. Well,
Yeah,
y'all using
but this
you're taking because the word, the definition of hell, meaning that he just fell into Sheol. Who? All I'm saying is who was in Sheol with him? Who knew he went to Sheol? Who was down in Sheol to say he seen him in Sheol? Because then
okay.
that's what I'm saying. Like, how did that happen?
Hey, can I make a comment?
Oh, go ahead, go ahead. I
Um,
want to show you something. I want to show you who was down in Sheol after he make his comment. I'm going to show you throughout, Ezekiel. Ezekiel is a great example on
I know
the
Ezekiel. I know,
demonstration that
but
we
I'm
see.
saying Ezekiel has a lot of visions. I'm saying for you to say that a person died and went to Sheol, who has passed and went to Sheol, said he seen him dead and he came back to life because
I didn't say he came back to life.
okay, so Sheol's a place you go after you die, right?
Yeah, it's a holding place for
So
the dead.
okay, so that's what I'm saying. I'm saying it's getting to a point where it's a belief that you believe that somebody had a vision or something that went into Sheol and seen them. Because who
I
else?
wouldn't say it's a
Made it?
belief because I mean even our forefathers, Jacob,
Uh-huh.
in Genesis, he talks about going to Sheol. He was buried in what was buried. Jacob was buried in where his father
So then Sheol. So then
And he said when he was buried in it wasn't I
So
forgot the
you said Jacob said when he was buried he went to Sheol. You saying Jacob
yeah, he
literally
said
said that.
he's gonna go with his fathers. Now
So
more people
is that a belief that he believed that?
no, I mean he had the understanding that that's where the souls go when we die. I won't say it was a belief.
How
I
do
mean
he
he
know
had
that? How do he know that's where he go?
his fathers.
How do they know? If because if it's somewhere you go after you die, how who came back and told them that Israel was here? I'm like I said, I just
Well,
believe in reality, man. I
well,
just
no,
don't
no,
go
I'm
by
just saying
somebody
that
just
I don't think that Isaac, Abraham would lie to him. I mean if they tell them they have
but
that
Isaac and
understanding.
Abraham ain't telling him that he went to Sheol and came back. He's telling them that that's where we're going when we die. Who
Well,
went to Sheol to come back and say, this is Sheol, this is where you died, this is what it's going to look like? Because I died and I came back. Who said that? That's what I want to know.
Samuel said, "Why you have disquieted me? You brought me out of this earth." That is proof right there. That's physical proof coming from a prophet. So like Samuel, he's the demonstration. And the
So then,
scripture says Samuel. We can't get past that. We can't say that he didn't say that. I mean, Samuel is a good example on where the spirit goes when we depart from the land of the living, aka Ezekiel of the Ecclesiastes chapter 9 under the sun. That's when you're under the sun, that means you're living on this earth. That's another scripture that people take out of context where they say
I mean,
that
I'm just saying that it's a point to where I mean, you either can go by what they say or you don't. I mean, I mean, I understand y'all going by what they say. I don't go by what everybody. I mean, that's just me. I'm
yeah,
not just gonna go back to
I
what
know
they
what you're
say. You
saying,
know
but
what I
I'm just
mean?
saying I'm just looking at the passages concerning where we go, and then Samuel, like I said, is a good example of that. And then even when you read Isaiah chapter 24, it talks about the spirits that's in prison. Now, when it says that, we know it's not a physical prison because it says that the kings of the earth shall be in prison until the time of the end, and they'll be risen up to face judgment. So I mean, they're in a holding place. I mean, I got like tons of scripture that shows that, you know, when we depart, both the righteous and the wicked go into Sheol. It's separated by
Yeah,
a gulf fix.
and I also and I understand, but I also said that our ancestors, the old ancestors before them, they first did not believe Sheol was just a Sheol. They believed it was a grave. They
Yeah,
believe when
well,
you
so
die,
that
you went to the
grave, but
grave.
yeah, so the word grave is not the same as Sheol, and I can show you the scripture because
I
the word
understand it. I know
like
that.
graveyard is the word keber. Keber is a graveyard, a burial site. That's written in Genesis chapter 20, and then also First Kings chapter
And that's why I
15.
said at a point in time we believe you go to the grave. Then it became to where people were saying you go to Sha'el. Then people, then later on they start believing to where you go to Sha'el. Then they separate you to different places. Then they start then that's when the Greeks and stuff start teaching Hades and then hell. I mean I understand it. It
No,
was
but
I understand the process.
Sheol is always there. I mean, they always believed in Sheol. Sheol and Kibura and Kiber is different. It's a whole different thing. Like getting buried 6 feet under. I mean, we call it the
But that's why
grave,
that's
but
why I
in the
say I
Hebrew,
study. I mean, we could get into it at another time. But that's why I say I study other stuff when it comes to the culture too. And when you study the history of Israel, the cultural, there's not they did not always believe that Sheol was a place that you just went to where you died. They did not always believe that. You know what I'm saying? Just like they had artifacts when they believed Yahweh had a wife. It was different times, aspects of different times when they believed in different. They believed the firmament was an expansion, and then it came to a point where they started teaching it was a dome. Then they got to a point where people started taking it and they took the dome thing literal. When that's not when you go into the Hebrew, it means expansion. So that's
yeah. But
to study
it
the
also
cultural
talks
too.
about the firmament being a hard surface above the earth. I mean,
And
there's scriptures that talks.
I already broke that down on my last show that it's not a hard surface. And that's not why they thought that because they couldn't understand how the water came down from the sky. That's why they thought it was a solid dome.
So
Science, and we understand where rain comes from there. We understand that it's not a solid dome that's separating the waters, and that's why the water comes down. We
so
know
you
this
so,
now.
oh, so you saying that there is no hard surface above us? Like it's your belief that there's the earth and then there's heaven. So is heaven outer space?
Heaven means sky. Heaven means
Yeah,
above.
yeah,
That's
and
all heaven
also
means.
yeah. So okay, so when you look at the word firmament in the Hebrew, what does it say?
Let me ask you this: If do heaven mean sky and above? Do it mean span? Do it mean sky and above? Right.
Yep, it does.
So what does the script? So when the verse says he made the firmament, he called it heaven. What is he saying? Because he ain't
He
saying that it's a solid dome.
okay,
That's all I'm
so
trying to say.
yeah,
So
so okay, so no, I agree with that. But what I'm saying is that there's scriptures that describe the firmament. It goes. I can put the scriptures out right now if you want to go into it.
and this what no I ain't probably gonna stay up for so long because I gotta go sleep. But this what I'm this because we can have a discussion tomorrow. If we want to lead back up to this, but what I'm saying is this what I mean when you keep just saying the scriptures say this. That's what I mean when people are saying that because the scriptures say this, it has to be
I,
hundred
I
percent
gotta go
true.
by the scripture. I can't go
No, you
outside
don't
the
have to
source
go
because
100. You don't have to go
then
100%. If you understand the culture, you know that
oh no,
they didn't
I
always.
understand the culture. Oh
Wait a
yeah,
minute,
I
hold on, wait a
understand
minute.
the culture.
I'm saying if you go by understanding the culture, you understand that it wasn't always right on everything they said. That's all I'm trying to say. That wasn't right on everything they said. We were talking about people thousands and thousands of years ago. We trying to make it seem like that these people knew everything and like God just told them everything. No, they was human beings who thought that certain things happen. That's all I'm trying to say. They didn't know. It's nowhere in the Bible that they understood that rain came from the clouds. It's nowhere in the Bible they understood that. When we go in when they dig up this stuff and they go into certain places, they understand that some of the stuff that the Bible might have said. That's why I said that's what mythology does. Mythology keeps stuff preserved. But when
Yeah.
we take everything literal, we start believing stuff that's not reality. We
Oh
start
no.
believing stuff that we never seen.
There's definitely a lot of symbolism and mythology,
So when
but
when the flood happened and it said that they both the Noah believed that God opened and cracked the sky open, then you're telling me that you believe that it's a dome that opens up and the sky and the rain comes down, and that's not how rain works. We know that today, so we can say
well,
whoever taught that at that time was not right when they said that. That's
oh,
all I'm saying.
so
We got to
oh
get to
no,
that point.
of course rain doesn't work that way. But at the time when it when
Exactly.
you
That's what
go
I'm
into the
saying.
book when you go into the book of Genesis, it talks about the creation of the heaven and the earth. And at the time that the Most High did flood the earth, it tells us that the waters that was in the earth. So not only was it did the waters from the heavens come down, but also within the earth. And that's how the Most High was able to flood the earth. It wasn't because of just the natural elements that we see today as rain with the clouds and stuff like that. It was actually the Most High using the waters that we have in
Again,
the earth. Not
that's the same belief of a person believing a donkey can talk. I'm just being for real. It's the same. That's a belief. That's not true.
I,
That's not a fact. You cannot scientifically prove that. You cannot
well,
historically
I mean,
prove that.
it can't be disproven either. I mean, science is
It
always
can't
is
be
ever
disproven because
it's always
I can prove
it's
for a fact
always
that
ever
rain
changing.
comes
Like
from the cloud.
I'm a
We can
science
prove that.
guy. I'm a
Hey,
science
let me make
guy,
this
but
comment for y'all. Get into it too much, man.
No,
Hey,
I
yo,
love
I'm
me.
hey, wait a minute. I just read the comments. Hey, David, I don't know who you is, bro. You don't. What the fuck is you talk about ego, bro? You don't even know me, bro. You don't know nothing about me or no ego or nothing, bro. You don't know my life past or anything. You need to back up, bro, because I really think bro, you probably some type of Edomite or something. I don't know who the fuck you is, bro. Keep my name out your type message, bro. You don't even know me, bro, or my life story, bro. You don't know shit
Promise you
about me, bro.
something.
How would have been good to me, bro? So back your ass up off me, whoever you is, bro. Talking about some ego.
yeah,
Hit the link, bro.
he probably ain't even know him no more. I think that's I've seen him when he did that. Probably I think he said it like an hour ago or something.
Yeah,
I,
that
ju-
been long ago, man.
I just seen the comment, bro.
Yeah,
Yeah, you
yeah,
was
yeah. I
talking.
seen it.
I hate when niggas be trying to don't play with me like that, bro. This shit sincere around here, bro.
Yeah, but
It is what it is.
I'm gonna let everybody go over in the panel and talk. We can start it off tomorrow if we want. I'm gonna holler at DOE see if you want to start the jump. We could just talk about this going on because it's like 12:30 and I get off and I gotta wake up at 6. You know what I mean? So we can start off we can start off uh uh damn what would you call it a outing. Everybody say what they gotta say before we leave. So who wants to go first?
Yeah, I'm gonna go ahead, man. Because I've been this was the second time trying to say something, but it's all good though.
Yeah,
Good
yeah.
discussion and everything though. But
I'm not. I love the discussion. I don't want nobody to think I'm not mad at none of the discussion. I don't have arguments.
yeah,
I like these. I get passionate. So don't take my passionate for ain't arguing. Like I love what the
Same here.
brothers.
Same
I
here.
love the brother saying and everything. I don't have no problem with he's saying. It's
that's
just
good.
a discussion.
That's good. That's what I like to hear.
Yeah.
But yeah, man. Just to finish off what he was saying. Not to finish off, but to put in my 2 cents real quick when you go to sleep. It's like he was talking about the Witcher Indoor,
Yeah.
and I made the comment and said there's no way that a Witcher Indoor raised up a holy prophet. One, because like I said, no matter what you see in your mind dealing with imaginations or death, if it transgresses the law, it is abomination. And we know by what Deuteronomy chapter 18, where it said you should not talk to the spirits of dead. So we know that. So there's no way that a witch indoor raised up a holy prophet, in y'all's name to speak to him. You know what I'm saying? So, and the lights then went off. That's crazy. But yeah, man, the lights just cut off. But you know, in the unbiblical text, like the book of Adam, it says that certain spirits are roaming around, but that's not official. That's not the official word. That's just like Eric would say, mythology. So you can't go with that. And what I'm saying, just to say my own experience, dealing with certain things, like I tell everybody, um, one it was, what I'm saying, back in 2026, I fell into a deep trance. And what I saw was I seen like two or three, type. I couldn't really make out their appearance or who they were, but I know I seen what I saw in this trance. and it seemed like some of our ancestors. I will say that, but I could not tell who it was. They did not speak. They did one action. And when they did that one action, I immediately woke up out of the vision and I knew what I saw and I remembered it clear as day. You know what I'm saying? But that's not, that's not biblical or whatever you might how you want to take it. But what I'm saying, end of the day, still remains that, what I'm saying, we should not talk to the spirit of the dead. So there's no way that, a holy prophet raised from the dead to talk to Sam. I mean to talk to Saul.
Okay, that's yeah. I mean, like I said, we could pull up on part two tomorrow. If y'all want to. I just probably start a little early because I'll be starting at 9 o'clock, not knowing I gotta go to work. So I might start like 7 or something when I get off. So we have longer time to talk. Who want to be go next? Now this is your outing now. This is your outing. So say what you want to say. So if you
I got
reply
one
to
more thing to
somebody,
say. I got one more thing to say before he says
okay.
something. It's just gonna be short. I just want to say this is where the chieftains hang out, the elders spit fire, and what I'm saying, the young chiefs learn to grow, what I'm saying, their own what I'm saying, wisdom. And this is not an
Yeah.
echo chamber.
Jeez.
Facts.
Yeah. Truth. I love all y'all, man. You know what I mean? I love conversating with
Sir.
intelligent brothers. Straight up.
I guess I go next, man. Since I'm the one with the ego, I guess I'm the hothead
Stop
or
it, stop it.
that's straight up, bro. I hate when people try to come to me like that, bro. Because I really love my people, bro. If anything, bro, people don't even really consider how much I really, you know what I'm saying. Anyway, Smash an Idol, man. It's DOA, Smash an Idol. Yahweh Cod, Yahweh Cod, Yahweh Cod. If you don't like it, then F you, brother. You know what I'm saying? Shalom.
I mean, that's
Oh
all you
yeah.
want to say? Oh, okay.
Hey, can I play a song afterwards? Everybody
Oh,
else
yeah,
DOA.
yeah.
I
Um,
can't.
you
I,
got to show me how to do that. Oh, you could just share it, right? Now I could just share it, right?
yeah, that's it.
Oh,
But
okay.
only if it's cool. Only if it's cool with True. I ain't trying to self promote because I ain't trying to have an ego.
Oh, no,
You know what
True
I'm
probably
saying?
ain't gonna care. Yeah, True probably ain't gonna care. He love your music anyway. I don't know what True went through, but
He probably
he was
busy.
on here. He might have fell asleep or
He
something.
listening in.
Yeah. That's all you wanted to say, man.
Yeah, that's it. I love
Oh,
all y'all, bro. Whether we
Yeah,
believe
it's
this,
one
believe that,
love.
bro. We gonna
oh
get it
yeah,
right,
yeah.
man.
I think yeah, that's
Facts.
that's why it's called. That's what we said, the iron sharp iron, man. This.
Yes,
You
sir.
know what I'm saying? I'm a passionate person, so don't never take me as I'm getting angry or mad. Cause you ain't gonna never hear me cuss at nobody or fuss with people. You know what I mean? I'm one of the people I can argue with you, then we can be chill after that. You know what I mean?
I cuss you out
When I'm at
instantly.
work, I'm with my boys all the time. We argue, we'll be fussing. Everybody be thinking we arguing. Then next thing you know, we we chilling. You know what I'm saying? That's just how I'm taught. I'm a country boy too, so
Yes,
I
sir.
cuss you out, and still we still out of
yeah,
love. We
yeah,
still gonna be cool.
yeah.
And I'll go next, man. Yeah, blessings to all you brothers, and blessings to Emerson, Smash, DOA, and brother Eric, man. And by the way,
Shalom.
man, all the videos that you made is bomb, bro. I mean,
Yeah, thank you,
every
thank you.
every lesson that you make, I'm always listening in, man. I just had just pick your brain on this one, man, because it's a I like topics like this when it comes to
Oh yeah.
what happens after death and stuff like that. So, but man, it's always a good show with y'all for sure, man. So all praise to the
Sir.
Most High God.
Oh yeah, and
Praises.
yeah, and I would say, man, I love all your brothers, man. Y'all the reason that to give me even people like DOA more to like teach more. Because like I said, a lot of people hated what I taught. A lot of people in my circles did not like nothing I was teaching. They thought I was wicked for teaching it, and I'm just coming with something that give people, like you said, make people think. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And coming from another aspect of how I study and research. You know what I'm saying? That's just who I always been like this. I ain't no new. This ain't nothing new I do. I always been like this. I always try to
Hey,
mix
I
science.
respect it.
Yeah,
I
you know what I
respect it.
mean. So it's like, and again, I don't want nobody. I'm just passionate. So when we get into stuff and I say stuff, don't. I like this circle because I know we can have a battle head to head and it ain't got to be nothing other than that because you know what I'm saying it's all respect. I respect every single one of y'all intellect, biblically and everything. You know what I'm saying? I love when y'all go into scripture. I love all that stuff because it makes me think. Now, you know what I mean? When Great 202 made that, he came up with that stuff. I mean, he was fighting back now. Don't get me wrong. So now I'm like, oh no, we got to make a part two because I want to know what he's saying, where he coming from with this.
Hey, you gonna go back and study it too, ain't it?
Yeah. So
Yes,
it makes me
sir.
do
I'm
a
do the
study, make
same.
me see what he was saying. You know what I mean? Because I like the way he broke that down. I ain't never heard that part of this because people was always saying Lucifer. So the way he broke that down, I'm like, oh, wait a minute, let me go back and see what he's saying about that now. You know what I mean? So I appreciate every single one of y'all. I appreciate the loyalty, the faithfulness y'all come on here. You know what I'm saying? And I love that y'all. And I love when I see y'all on other platforms too because that lets me know y'all not scared to go research things that's outside of the box, outside of the norm. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, facts.
So I appreciate you. Great 202 for Car, Smash. If y'all want to, let me know. We could do a show tomorrow on the topic that we talking about now. You know what I'm saying? So because I probably sit back and let y'all teach on that. You know, on the bring some verses out, see what y'all got to say on that. You know, I don't try to be. I just do this because I try to keep the show flowing. But he always told me, get other people going and we want to see more of y'all, bring some information out like the other day y'all did when y'all was running and running and running. So, I'm I just hope we can do that tomorrow. And like I said, I'm doing mental health in the black community. I just want to speak on a lot of stuff that um goes on with us. Because like I said, I grew up where you didn't supposed to cry. You don't supposed to talk about your child traumas. You don't supposed to talk about your weaknesses. And I want to get to a point where we start talking about these things and what is affecting us because we don't. Our generation after generation will get worse and worse and worse, and we got to start breaking down. Because like I tell
Yeah,
people
buddy.
now, I tell my brothers, man, go to therapy. I tell my son, I love him. Like I try to do things that's against what I was taught in the streets and to be hard and you know what I mean. So I just want to break down like child trauma and all the way up to you know all the way up to gangsterism. I got to think when I'm breaking down all that to how all that stuff is affecting us as a people, and we got to start understanding that because we take mental health as a joke. I know all of y'all got family members that we'll be like, oh, he just crazy. But if you
Oh
think he
yes, sir.
crazy, why you ain't getting him help? If you know he was crazy as a child, why you ain't give him help? And see, we overlook that stuff. You know what I'm saying? So I appreciate it. Oh, you can share your thing and smash the item, and I'll share it for you.
One love, fam. One love.
Let me see.
It's sharing. I don't know what's up. It's sharing.
Yeah, I get
Everybody
it.
already talked. Okay.
Yeah, you can play. I think you got to play it. Push play.
Yeah. I play it. It's called "Don't Let Me Fall" by me and my wife Anaya Yasharal. You know what I'm saying? I pray everybody. I pray somebody gets something just out of this little 2 minute session. You know what I'm saying? I love all y'all, bro. Don't let
Yeah,
me
me
fall.
too, brother.
Same here, man.
Yeah,
Same.
yeah. One love.
Person that's looking for wise counsel is that they're not gonna, tell you, hey, look, this is wrong. You're not gonna you can't sit around wicked people and look, you can't sit around these wicked people and talk to them and get them to change their mind. You're gonna be encouraged. You're gonna fall. You gotta keep talking what God is saying. Can you go back to chapter 1, please?
If I ever fall, don't ever let me go far, cause I don't wanna stray on the way to going home. And if I'm ever lost, just look for me where I've gone, cause I don't wanna go right, knowing that I'm wrong. I ain't trying to be an enemy. If I see you falling off, I gotta tell you, we're family. Cause if I'm ever lost, just look for me where I've gone, cause I don't wanna
Can you go
go
back to
right,
chapter 1?
knowing that I'm wrong. Blessed is the man who walks not in the counsel of the wicked, nor stands in the way of sinners, nor sits in the seat of scoffers. But his delight is in the law of Yahweh, and on his law he meditates day and night. He is like a tree planted by streams of water that yields its fruit in the season, and its leaf does not wither. In all that he does, he prospers. Maybe it's falling tripping, but taking your how up out of your plan, that's opposition. Rather on being a traveling seas, that's a show collection. You can believe and you can achieve, I would say go that distance, but just don't let that get you far away. Yeah. To the point to where that can make you fall away. Hey, but homie, that's your decision. When I see follow with other guys, how you talking about being superstitious? So how you calling me religious? Use your intuition. Don't let it fall.
Back to chapter 1, please. Shalom. Shalom.
Before we go, is it that the YouTube you using now? If I click on your thing, is that where your music is at?
It's not. No. I got a second. I got a second channel out.
Oh, okay. And what is it called again?
Yahweh's Portion.
Yahweh's Portion. I think I accepted that thing. Let me do that, man.
Yeah, right.
Yahweh's Portion.
Right here. This page really based upon just like scriptorial things. You know what I'm saying? It's just scriptorial precept, scriptorial things. Smash and Idol. I mean, y'all can go there too. Shout out to I Am Y'all Son. You know what I'm saying? We had a 9-hour live last week. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I got it right here. Okay.
Yeah, we just doing open discussion and stuff. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, okay. I'm subscribed to you. Okay.
Oh, yeah. Appreciate it. I appreciate it. Well, all praise to Yahweh. You know what I'm saying? That's it. Yeah. Hey, I just want to say one thing. I know we're supposed to be closing it right now. I just want to say one thing, bro. It's very important, bro, that our people understand, bro, regardless of what we got going on as far as in our mind and how we think the scriptures going on, as long as you know that it's the Most High and the Most High only, it should be no reason why it's like so much disunity and stuff like that going on. Saying it ain't about what you believe and my doctrine gonna be better than yours.
Yeah.
We can't be on that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's why I tell people I'm y'all only. Like I said, the Most High is beyond the book. Like, you know what I mean? Like even if you got rid of the Bible right now, I'm still gonna believe in the Most High. So it's even so when they, you know what I mean. I'm not saying get rid of it. I'm just saying that I believe in the Most High, and I believe the Most High is. I don't believe the Bible created the Most High. I believe the Most High is. I believe the Bible is inspiration from the people who believe in the Most High. You feel what I'm saying?
Person that's looking for wise counsel. My bad. Yeah, I ain't mean to play that again. Yeah, you right. You know what I'm saying? It's so much stuff that's going on in the world right now that our people don't even realize that Zephaniah 2:1 is in effect. You feel me? And we gonna either stick together and we gonna understand that we the nation that's not desired and just, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Link in, or because when you read the scriptures, bro, I'm gonna say this, I'm gonna shut up. When we read the scriptures, bro, we can tell that it's always some type of problem with its people in the scriptures. They just got to be the HNIC of everything.
Yeah.
You feel what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And they got to be the ones that's ruling everything. And if they not, then Yahweh ain't dealing with you. The Most High, Yah ain't dealing with you. It ain't about that, bro. It's about us all. We've been chewed up and spit out by these people, and now it's been given to us. The truth been given to us. We gotta just come together. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And no, nigga, I love you first. First week, I love you. Next week, you don't believe hell is this? Fuck you, nigga. Nah.
Yeah, no, I know. No, that's I hate when that shit happen.
Yeah,
But
but yeah, I
yeah,
appreciate it. I appreciate it. I appreciate all y'all, bro. You know what I'm saying? I'm just a young brother. I know I be cussing a lot sometime. I know I be, you know what I'm saying,
nah,
whatever.
you
But
good.
I, yeah,
I'm from
I
the streets just
appreciate
like you. Yeah, we from the streets like you is, man. We don't get on, because it ain't respectful. It ain't disrespectful cussing. It's just who it is. You know what I mean? But tomorrow I'll probably get on for a little bit, and I'm just gonna title scriptures or something, and just let you great 202 and Bakar, like y'all just pull out some scriptures, and y'all build them, bring some stuff up. I'm gonna sit back and listen like as a student. You know what I mean? See what y'all come up with. But
it. Oh yeah.
I probably start around like 7, so y'all be prepared. All right?
Are we gonna be ready? I'll be ready. I'll be ready at two something in the daytime, and
Yeah.
the stream at 9 o'clock.
Great 202. Make sure you bring out them scriptures. I want to see where you was going with that. I don't want you to think.
Hey,
I don't want to think I didn't like what you were saying. It was getting late, and I was like, no, I already see this is about to go to like another 2 hour conversation. That's why I was like, no, I don't want you to bring the most scriptures out. So I don't want you
hey,
to think I want to hear it.
Great 202. Something to be. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I could tell he's sharp with the scriptures,
Yeah,
bro.
yeah, I like it. I like it. It was just getting too late. And I was like, man, this gonna be. I already know this gonna be another 2 hour show. Messing with these when he started talking about what he was talking about, and I know I was getting into it too. I said, no, I gotta go to sleep. Man. I ain't mess with y'all today. I gotta do
Hey,
my
yeah.
manager meeting and everything. So,
Shout out to DOA. You know what I'm saying? Hey, one more thing. I do I not to self promote or anything. You know what I'm saying? If I was to self promote, it would be Howard's portion because that's where I try to bring more edification and everything. You know what I'm saying? But as far as you know what I'm saying, smoke or just want to vibe or anything, Smash United was the page. Um, the first open panel we had was a 9 hour live. It went great. You know what I'm saying?
yeah.
It would be an honor to see you brothers. You know what I'm saying? Over there, you know what I'm saying, to come and chime in or whatever. We talk about
When you doing
anything.
another one?
Um, I think I think Friday. I'm not sure, but I think it's Friday because I kind of went to my community section and asked people when would
Okay.
be the best time. It's some people in Switzerland and all type of stuff that be chiming in. They like 7, 8, 6 hours away. You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
I just
Well,
try to.
just come on the
What
show
y'all saying?
Wednesday.
What y'all talking about? What y'all talking about? Time as far as like putting the show together?
Yeah, yeah. He want me and you to come visit on his page one day. Come support
Oh
him.
yeah, yeah, yeah. You know what? You know what? Every time I get on there and Smashing Idols on, I keep forgetting that it's really nowhere after unless we're doing a show to even contact. We need to get a way
Yeah, I
we
know.
can contact them.
That's what I'm trying to figure out. Like we had leave that like we got to figure out when you will do it, so we doing the jump on.
Hmm.
Well, look, how about this? My email for you brothers is
Put it in the private chat. Put it in the private chat.
Con. I'll do that. I'll do that. Con.
Because I actually, truthfully, I wanted I gave Eric the Mad Scientist. I gave him access to this channel. I still have 2 more slots. I understand my brother Alan doesn't really know how to use this, but I have 2 other slots. So I would like to give one of these slots to like you, and maybe one slot to Vicar, because we want to keep these
Yeah,
things going. You know what I mean?
yeah,
Because we kicking ass. Believe
yeah,
it or
yeah.
not, we kicking ass.
Yeah.
And we
Yeah.
want to hear. We want to hear. We want to sit back and learn from y'all too. Hear what y'all got to say. You know what I mean?
All
Sometimes I
right, I
don't feel
got
like
it now.
reading. I don't feel like reading all the time. Sometimes I like to
Yeah.
hear other people talk.
I'm gonna save it right now to my email. I'm just gonna send out a test email that way you'll know what it is. I have 3 different ones myself. Matter of fact, let me put mine in there too. You know what I'm
So
saying?
Yeah, I might
Yeah.
put mine in that too.
I
But
appreciate it. I
that's
really do appreciate it, man.
do that, and definitely actually, since I have your email now, I'll add you to the admin section. Like you can open and close shows too. Cause I ain't gonna lie, sometimes we be on for a long time, and I get sleepy.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
You know what I'm saying? And can't actually
Because I
close it.
I could have left off. Y'all could have stayed on this motherfucker, but I know once I end it, it's over with. Or the deal is.
Give me a second to put mine in there. Because a lot of times I'm working on location now where I ain't actually have access to the computer. So like last weekend, I couldn't show anything. I felt bad. But then once I saw him in the viewers gallery, I instantly told him to hop on so he could present.
Yeah, I never will have no problem with doing that for y'all. Okay, hold on. Let me okay, I got it. Okay, I got it. Yeah, I don't got no problem just helping out the elders, you know what I'm saying? Because I be learning a lot from y'all, you know what I'm saying? And I ain't trying to be like big and bad, but by the time I'm y'all age, I plan on being able to be a slaughterhouse, you know what I'm saying, and to keep the truth moving, bro. So shout out.
You already doing it, man. You already doing it.
That's what we're doing now. We're trying to make a legacy channel. When we in the ground, this channel's still going.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
For sure.
Let me add to right now to my email.
You got any other platforms that we need to go beat up some people? Let us know. We'll jump on there too.
Yes. Smash Slider would be all type of shit going on in that mug sometime. I'm telling you.
Yeah, you know me and DOA be wanting to spot sometimes.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I got my email in the back chat too. I mean the private.
Yeah. When the car come on, same thing. Let him know too, because he be bringing the heat now too.
Yeah, because Great 202 was bringing something. We and him was getting into it with something. So
hey, Great 202 wasn't playing with you.
Yeah, he was coming with some fire too. I like it. You know what I mean? He was coming with some
praise Yahweh. Yeah, you know, so just to clear the silence, since you know what I'm saying, we still up here, we don't want to make it a dull moment. We just play one more song. I got more songs. Hey, yeah, and this for, you know, people later on down in life that watch DOA. You know what I'm saying? If y'all do music, you know what I'm saying, and y'all follow the Most High and Him only, you know what I mean. I got songs, you know what I'm saying, that I need help on. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I rap too, so I might get on the song with you.
Oh yeah, I'm gonna hit your email then. I'm gonna send you some stuff that I'm already working on, because I need a lot of help on some stuff, bro.
Okay.
Yeah, for sure. Let's see. Full Pressure kind of fucked up. I kind of messed up the last time I was playing it. So can I play that out and then we just close it?
Yeah.
You got DOA.
All right. Full Pressure.
When DOA come on here, he the boss too.
Hey, the boss. You do whatever you want.
I'm talking. You know what I mean? Just saying, this your job. So like, you on here.
Pressure.
If you ain't trying to get to this door, get out my presence. Stay off my line with all that family, ain't no blessings in it. We don't lie, all lies in our direction. It's Shalom, Yahweh, God's full pressure. If you ain't trying to get to this door, get out my presence. Stay off my line with all that family, ain't no blessings in it. We don't lie, all lies in our direction. It's Shalom, Yahweh, God is full pressure. First of all, before I start, let me give up praises to my king. How could I lie in the night? The time he's looking out for me. I've been somewhere with a chauffeur trying to warn my people thing. It's some people full of pride. I got a problem, I smoke tree. Y'all can't read around, but you know exactly what I mean. Have me pacing back and forth. Sometimes my wife gotta tell me breathe. Can you believe me? Out of your destiny, tell me to read. Y'all get the same reason why I be tripping and took you to telling your West to leave. It get better as it go. I see the wicked as it cleans. I just watch you from a distance as a heap of white stains. They can keep on trying all they want to. It's full pressure. Stay away
me. Like how many times I told these questions, please don't give me. Lying to my people make me mad, please don't let me. I know some Israelites are dying, hoping they see slavery. It's full pressure. You see the first things is first kings. Something about who you serving. The thought I had to ask is so disturbing. The doctrine got you swerving. You swear the devil's lurking. Yeah. I can't wait to see everything is gonna happen. Zechariah 8:3. All I can hope and pray is that I'll be right. Oh yeah, I hope you heard me. If you ain't trying to get to this point, get out my presence. Stay on my fly with all that folly, ain't no blessings in it. When you don't lie, all lies in all directions. They show on you how God is full pressure. If you ain't trying to get to this point, get out my presence. Stay on my fly with all that folly, ain't no blessings in it. When you don't lie, all lies in all directions. They show on you how God is full pressure. That means full pressure. Just because I'm nice, don't mean it's nice.
Yeah, smashing idol.
Peace to everybody. Peace.
Yeah. Well, either way, Smash, I added you as one of the admins on the platform, so you respond when you get a chance.
Oh,
You know
shit,
how to do it.
I ain't gonna cap. I don't know how to do that, but I'll find a way. Hey, it's much love. I praise. I praise.
You should. It's gonna actually like the accept it. It's probably gonna see it in the stream, guys.
Yeah, it probably do.
Or either the email. It's one of them.
It probably be in the email.
Yeah, probably accept it. Yeah, it's gonna actually accept it. You'll see it.
Oh shit. Okay. All right, for sure. I go to my email. So, am I supposed to be closing?
The call. Wait, somebody else. I got one more spot. No, it's just.